g'day, and welcome to quite possibly the only playoff match I'll be able to cast this season. It is me, the Line Bus, here with a heroic division game of the 7 Rings facing off against Big Push Power. And once again, today I'm not alone. It seems like more and more I'm going to have co-casters with me, so we'll see how this continues going up. But today I have Pink Blackout. How are you doing today, Pink?
I'm doing well, thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I'm gonna be honest, I'm tired. I had lunch just before and I'm still hungry, so I just should have eaten more apparently. But otherwise, I am good and excited for this. Definitely because it's just, not often I do Heroic Division. I think I only did it 1 or 2 other times this season. But I actually did my research for once, when it came to actually the teams. I've looked into what they do, and it should be a very interesting series. Last time these two teams faced off, it was, Big Push Power actually coming away with the reverse sweep, but coming into this, 7 Rings are the favorite. They were the highest seed at the end of the season. So, what are you looking forward to with this match here?
Probably mechanics most of all. As far as like heroic division in particular, because I'm in Div B, so this is my first. Don't exactly know what to expect.
Look, I mean, if you want to make your way up the totem pole, you got to figure out how this works eventually.
Eventually, if I get there.
You guys are doing alright in B. You may be in A next season, and who knows, maybe it is Nexus after that, then Heroic. That's still a few seasons away, however, so I guess we'll have to wait and see there. But I am very much looking forward to this. We do have Tomb of the Spider Queen for first map. 7 Rings, as they were the higher seed, did opt into having first pick, leaving Big Push Power to ban out Battlefield of Eternity and Garden of Terror, and we did see 7 Rings banned out both the... I immediately forgot what map is called. For Sky Foundry and Braxis Holdout, which I'm a bit sad we don't get to see Braxis. I do very much enjoy it, but I know that's not a common sentiment.
That's a cluster map for disaster in most cases.
How do you feel about Braxis?
It's a cluster. A cluster mess.
You know what? That's a fair enough description of it. I guess I just play offlane, so I'm biased towards it. I know you're a damage dealer primarily.
Well, you just don't know what to expect on Braxis. You can get the Genjis, you can get Maevs there, there's a lot of like rotation values, and Brightwing and Garrosh are really strong, so it's like, you gotta be careful with what you have on that map in particular, and if you have a safe rotator or not. Speaking
about rotations, we do actually have Tomb. One of those ones where either you can double soak for top 2 lanes and just let your 4-man kind of bottom, kind of like how you do Towers of Doom, or you can just do the standard rotations. I'd like to see both these teams just kind of ARAM at bottom, but I guess we'll have to see where this draft goes then, shall we? Right. So from my knowledge, Big Push Power very much likes banning... Wait, one of these teams like banning Vala, and I can't remember which one. Big Push Power very much likes banning out Vala.
Vala's can be very strong on this map in particular, because she can get a lot of stacks. It's a small map, easy rotations.
In all honesty, Vala's probably going to be banned out by either team. We may see Joe bans. It seems like 7 Rings do like banning out. Do get Joe banned out against them quite a bit, but Big Push Power, not as much.
I'd like to see a Mephisto.
Man, I made too many notes. I would also like to see Mephisto. Mephisto is always a fun one to watch. Or Hogger is also great to watch. Never mind.
Oh, no Hogger.
Never mind. Hogger's gone. Which, you know what? Fair enough, considering he is, in my opinion, one of the best offlaners at the moment. And you're not seeing Mephisto either. Nope, neither of the 2 heroes we just talked about are going to be seen. That has gone completely out the window immediately.
What do they ban next?
That is a great question. Maybe we do see Lucio. I don't know why I said Lucio, but it is going to be Zeratul. Yeah, it does seem to be that Big Push Power favors Zeratul. It's actually played quite a bit this season. 16. It was banned against them 16 times this season, so they just don't want anyone. They just don't want someone on that team touching it.
Well, Zeratul is definitely one of those heroes that can make or break an ending to like a game. Good boy prison or something, like a good rotation and get a gank. Like it can be tough.
And Sylvanas is actually rounding out the bans. You know what? Considering it's this map, fair enough, but we do see Joanna just basically insta-picked. As I'm not very surprised it was the case. Joanna is seen as one of those very strong healers. Healers? Well, heroes, I was meant to say. Speaking of healers, Brightwing.
Two very popular heroes picked up.
You nearly said healers, didn't you?
Yeah, because of you.
You're welcome. And we see Leoric, so we may actually see that double soak style of offlaner come this time around, which I would very much like to see. Oh, cool. Junkrat's here. Great. Amazing. No, Junkrat. Oh, my favorite annoying rubbish rodent to play.
I love seeing some players take concussion mine because you just see them bouncing across the map the entire time.
So unreasonably angry when I see it against me. I see I'm like, I'm about to have a miserable time. But no, we see Rhaegar picked up. And that's all the healers picked up already. Rhaegar, I do very much like. Good wave clear, good healing. Just, in general, probably one of the better healers at the moment. Some people do see it boring. I find it fun just biting in at people running them with lightning shield on me. That's probably why I die a lot in the game.
I think I'm fairly strong with Rhaegar when I have to play him. I think he's fairly easy to pick up, but he can also be punished really easily.
Rexxar banned.
Rexxar.
Interesting. I guess you do just want kind of Rexxar to control vision and such. Rexxar can double soak pretty efficiently with Bird of Prey at level 1, so it is a pretty reasonable ban, especially if you both teams are wanting to look at really pumping the pressure bottom. And we see Diablo banned out. It is one of Diablo's best maps because there just are so many walls around that objective.
I think he's just a very strong tank in general. One of the top.
Tassadar and Stitches. Oh,
Stitches.
love Stitches. Yes. Oh, never mind. Stitches. It's kind of harder now. Deathwing. Woo. Okay, so it looks like one team is very much wanting to do the double rotate with Leoric in the top lane, but it looks like the other team's wanting to do the more standard. We'll rotate our 4-man through top mid, just because that is kind of Junkrat has good wave clear, Rhaegar has good wave clear, and Deathwing isn't quite as efficient with double soaking, so we may just see the more standard style of play from the 7 rings.
It's gonna be interesting seeing Deathwing versus Leo.
What did we get last is the question? Greymane? Zul'jin? Genji. Okay, fair. I guess if they're kind of doing what I think they'll do, that makes a lot of sense. Genji just great at harassing rotations. They are also excellent at just also being a nuisance, kind of like Junkrat. Overwatch heroes. That's all I can say about that.
What's going to be interesting is the timing of the Flame Breath into the Genji, because that's going to be key, because he could just protect it and deal a lot of damage that way.
Oh my gosh, Genji deflecting the bloody Molten Breath of Death would be so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I'd love to see that, but we are loading into the game now. It'll be interesting to see this once it gets on its way. So seeing these, I'm not going to be one cast a curse. I'm going to make you cast a curse, people. What kind of comp are you preferring here? How do you think this will go down?
Oh, this is very interesting because I know that the Leo into the Deathwing is a pretty strong matchup as far as for Leo's standpoint. And they also have Tassadar, and he goes percent at 16, and that could be really rough on the Deathwing. But they do have a lot of CC overall with the Junkrat, the Rhaegar, the Johanna, and Li Ming. If she goes wave of 4, she's able to have some displacement. But them having the Brightwing with the Genji, this is going to be kind of tough because they don't really have anything to solidly lock down the Genji. So I think he's going to have a fun game.
I think this realistically is one of those games that fall down to if Stitches gets the hooks, they're going to be great. If Stitches can't hit them, that's an issue. But right, we are going to be into the game. And can you introduce to me the blue team of the 7 rings?
Yes, so we have Evina Quaker on Junkrat. We have on Leaving, Root Beer Guy on Rhaegar, Cirrus on Deathwing, and we have Mexicano on Johanna.
And on the other side, we do have Sexy Exy there on the Stitches. Slice Raven is on the Genji Final Stand Tassadar. Concept with the very stunned Leoric. And rounding things out, we do have Sovern on the Brightwing. Or Southern on Brightwing. I don't quite know how to say that, but I guess I'll figure it out eventually when someone inevitably in chat tells me I am wrong. And Cyrus is just getting that lightning breath, molten breath off. Slice Raven harassing below and Sexy Exy getting phase shift.
We see Deathwing rotating to bot already, working on that soak advantage.
Okay, they are just going to run the standard 4-man rotations. Hook going through for Evina, couldn't quite find that Junkrat. Poor Sexy Exy is taking so much damage this game already. But I guess it is a big shambling target.
Yes.
Oh, they found the Junkrat trap. Cool, it's going to be one of those games. Good luck, everyone. There's going to be Junkrat stuff everywhere.
Just wait till he gets his traps that chase.
No, I don't want to wait for that.
Camp invade.
I think Fly's Raven's just there to be a nuisance more than anything else. I don't, as I say, they can't do it by themselves. That's a lot of pressure that would be on immediately. But we can see Big Push Power are at least still doing their own camp, even if it is just Brightwing doing some double soaking, which, not the best, but at least it can kind of work.
And this wave is crashing here at mid already, so that's really good for the 7 rings.
Oh, Summer's dead. I was thinking you finished the sentence, but I was very much watching what was happening up above. It's very unfortunate that you lose your Brightwing there, especially because Genji now goes down. No phase shift available, no Brightwing up. That is very unfortunate. And we can see with that one camp, 7 rings got a lot of the gate. There wasn't quite that camp clear potential on the side of Big Push Power. It very much needs to be Tassadar doing that clear. And outside of it, it's kind of a struggle for them.
Yep, they, well, oh no, it's not going to crash very well into this wall. It's going to clean it up fairly well.
I was saying I did very much like the wave clear of the 7 rings. I knew it was going to be a little bit better coming into this. Just it being this just Big Push Power having this difficulty, getting this clear going. It's kind of what is surprising me.
And it looks like Deathwing is in Magewing form.
Yeah. I mean, Magewing is definitely a more popular build as of late, especially if you're going into something such as Leoric. You don't really want to get hit by the creepy hand. You may as well try to stay out of range for as much as possible, if not the whole time. But we can see bottom camp was picked up by the 7 rings. They've sent Deathwing off to get the off soak, which Deathwing nearly dies of the process, but they're going to be fine. They do have flight up.
He'll probably make his way down to bottom lane again.
Yeah, but at this point, the wave's already cleared. They have it. Also, turn-in is available for the side 7 rings. And because of a few deaths that Big Push Power has had, they do not have that option yet.
Genji found a trap.
There's really just going to be X-Hero found trap this game. Oh, look, another bear trap to put my foot in as you just stop dead. Oh, it's point blank stun onto Concept. Concept does go down.
Good rotation.
Good kill.
Oh, Junkrat goes down.
Oh dear. I missed that one, however.
I think he was busy in mid lane and got himself caught out.
Definitely doesn't get certain. At least Concept does at least keep vision when they are in that form. In saying that,
it's
though,
my preferred form.
Ghost form. You prefer being dead as Leoric, just being a ghost.
Oh no, I thought we were talking about Deathwing. My bad.
Wow. You don't even listen to me. Why do I invite you if you're not even going to listen to me? This was a mistake. No. I'm always perfectly happy to have the company. Both teams do have turn-in now. I do want to note, however. Oh, Evina is taking a lot of damage, but Concussion Mine doesn't quite go where they expect, and that's the second kill onto Junkrat, all while below Cyrus, Root Beer Guy, and I do not know how to say Li Ming's way. Evil W. I know it's a palindrome, but I don't know how to say their name.
And I got the one to announce their name and butchered it.
Thank you for doing it first. Greatly appreciate it. Also, Joanna's getting pressured. I don't think she'll go down here. She's got a healthy hook, goes down, Tesla wall out, and actually Joanna's a little bit alone in that regard, but Vera's the Iron Skin now. Flash Raven just a little bit out of position, does dash to safety.
They should be able to clear this just fine in top lane.
I mean, it's taking a while, actually.
It's true.
It's starting to really drop now. There it goes. Oh, hook barely missing Mexicano. And they'll be fine. Only mid wall gone, middle gate gone there from top. But meanwhile, mid itself, we can see both towers, the little top wall, as well as the gate itself down. Meanwhile, bottom, Leoric cleared it pretty well. Only lost one tower, lost that middle gate portion. But they do still have one up. And both teams are going to go back to their... Oh, actually, just one team is going to go back to their camp. 7 rings on it immediately. And this time, Big Push Power has to turn in, even if that camp will really mess up that middle wave. And they do not turn
Doesn't look like they're gonna... Yeah, exactly.
They just wanted their tens. Oh. Junkrat.
Junkrat being annoying.
Oh, you, Junkrat. Just being a pest. Red Weavers do get turned to the bottom. Leoric does manage to sink that in outside of the Deathwing's gaze. It's a crown. It's a crown. What's a crown, C2D2? Oh, hook onto Mexicano. Does get gorged immediately. It is just going to be Blessed Shield. No falling sword to get themselves out. Black Hole immediately on top, but the Iron Skin lets Mexicano walk out safely.
Ooh, and they missed the Entomb.
Oh, the Li Ming's name is a crown. Is what I'm being told by someone in chat.
A crown?
I can see it. Yeah, like a hat, like a crown.
Oh, I see.
I see it. I do see it. I'm still gonna butcher it. Oh, hook coming out onto Vena Quaker, taking a lot of damage, but a little bit burst at the original start of it, but does concussion mine themselves out. That is already mid Web Weaver down, but top Web Weaver is getting a lot of value. Already has half of that keep down.
I think it's definitely going to be going down too.
Oh, hook into Mexicano. Gonna be fine. Pops the Iron Skin. We'll get out. The Flyest Raven does a cheeky little dash through the enemy team.
Oh, Li Ming.
Li Ming.
Oh, she lives.
That's a good Ancestral. Sovereign, however, does get out. Was a little bit lower and doesn't quite have an Ancestral healing to get themselves up. Oh. Good Gorge. Mexicano not in position to Iron Shield, Blessed Shield it. We do see a lot of damage. That is actually Rhaegar going down. Very good kill onto them. Very well timed. And there's the Entomb.
Unfortunately for Deathwing, he will have to go down for that.
Definitely wasn't even one entombed. It was the Junkrat, but Junkrat did concussion mine themselves out of there. And now we can see we can have back-to-back turn-ins by the 7 rings. Not the 7 rings, Big Push Power. 7 rings did have a couple of deaths here, so they did actually lose a few of their gems.
Looks like they have enough for turn-in on red side, so if they just focus that, they should be able to get some more work done in mid and bottom lane.
It's going to do a little bit of a merry-go-round. We'll see if we can eventually get these in, but it may take a little bit. Not never mind if I get it in immediately. I'm just talk out my ass, apparently, today. Meanwhile, we do know bottom camp is now open for both teams. There is going to be a fight going on down here. Cyrus steps onto it. I imagine they have their bellowing roar up. No, they do now. We do see it come out, and that is a Deathwing getting a decent stun off of it, and that is 1 kill off by 7 rings, 2 kills by 7 rings. Joanna finding both those final hits. And we can see the rest of the team how it does escape. Finds a hook onto Mexicano. There is no Gorge. There it is. There's no Iron Skin that was with it. And they do manage to carry Joanna reasonably out. There's the Iron Skin now, but we can take a little bit too much damage to go down. Root Beer Guy answers himself, but doesn't get it off in time. Flash Raven has to jump out. And that is a good way to... Oh my god, there's the 3rd kill. Li Ming finding a hook, getting down by hook. Sexy Exy hitting these hooks. God damn.
They have a lot of cleaning to do. They're probably going to go ahead and lose mid-fort, perhaps. Maybe?
Nope.
Oh, maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, you
But
just have
Tapa's
all
gonna
the
get more.
4 members up, still up. That was just a bit short. That's Entomb, but they do take Fort with it. And Big Push Power
And they
very
can-
much... Oh, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, now they can opt to go down to bottom lane and take that too.
Go boss. It's not like all 5 heroes are up on the enemies. You can just go boss. It'll be great, I promise.
It'll all work out.
It'll all
For one
work
team.
out. Oh, Concept has found 3 members of the 7 rings. Does use Ray Fort to get out. But in that kind of few moments there, that fort went from basically full health to a third left? Basically a third left. I'll bring up talents for anyone who is interested.
Oh, yep, and we do have 10s out on the table too. We've been past that.
Yeah, we've been well and truly past that. I've just been talking too much. I kind of forget talents exist sometimes, even though I do often refer to the 10s. And we do see along the line of these lines, it's very standard array of heroic talent. Not really anything standing out here. I do like Junkrat going big as. I do have to say that extra minus armor does well. We do see that it is going to be the 7 rings getting their turn in as both of the Bruiser camps clash mid.
That was a good hook miss by the Li Ming.
Oh, Leoric has found the trap. Unfortunately for the 7 rings, top lane is very pushed in. They won't really get much value where it stands currently. So you can see that is going to be Big Push Power just kind of easily clearing this middle web weaver. Oh, Gorge on to Stitches. That's a very fast Stitches at this point. But Iron Skin does so well. Same that Entomb does even better. Blessed Shield for Peel. We do see Concept as one going down there. Joanna very low, not too much health left of him, but no one can get the finish onto him. Mexicano gets to live where Leoric actually died.
Yeah, it was like a backwards Entomb.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Well, they get
Ooh.
bottom fort, that's good.
Hook just short of Avena as well. We do see now the Web Weaver is clashing mid, but it's already so low from its journey down the lane. It's going to get one web wave off. Unfortunately, it's targeting an invulnerable well, and that won't quite go down like that. Right, everyone's just congregating top now. Oh, Hook just shy of Crown once again. I do not know what to call Leeming at this point.
I guess we just call Crown.
Crown, Bellandrome, Leeming. May revert to that one a fair bit, because boy howdy, I should have asked. Should ask, like, hey, what do you want to be called? Like, how do you pronounce your name? Nope, didn't even think about asking that until you went, oh, how do I say that name?
At least you weren't the one who butchered it.
Look, I'm gonna butcher it later, don't worry. I'm gonna forget this whole conversation happened. I will and then call it a day. Ixie doesn't quite find the hook this time. And we do see now that it is pretty even talent tiers. Pretty even in structures as well. It is only one structure advantage for the side of Big Push Power. However, things such as Li Ming with Junkrat, it is pretty easy to poke this down from afar. And we can see that Hook coming through from Stitches up above, but not quite found. And actually very aggressive landing from Cyrus, but imagine we're going to see they have Cataclysm up, but they don't use it. That building just goes down.
Oh, and now he's stuck in there.
There's the Cataclysm. Genji finds the kill. And also Junkrat Riptide did go off partway through that, and we see it is going to be the Gorge onto Li Ming. Mexicano not quite in range to get the shield onto it. Ancestral coming out onto Avena, Quaker, Sovan, and Flash Raven both very low themselves. You can see there's a whole mess. Concept is back, and we can see the extract on top of Genji. Does find the kill. Mexicano does get hooked in. That's going to be the Joanna going down. And we do see Li Ming takes out Brightwing on her way out, and Genji all the way in Narnia finds the final kill onto Viraga, and I believe, oh, without heal, it may not necessarily be a boss call, but we see his final standards making their way there. Nope, never mind. I'm going to curse things, and they're just going to ignore what I've just said.
I think them pushing in top lane is for the best here, because they can, once they open this up, that's a strong win con for them.
Absolutely. Deathwing is up is probably the thing to note. There are no gems left on the 7 rings. They're set back to square one with that 5-man kill. But we can see now top lane is open, and it's now the perfect time to even turn in, as you have 80 out of the 60 gems you require.
Just go straight boss. Do it.
Boss, now that everyone's respawning. Great idea. Can't possibly go wrong.
Give us another team fight.
There's going to be another team fight, do not worry. And we can see actually the 7 rings, the first thing they check was boss. So actually good call by the side of Big Push Power not go there. As a full team fight, albeit you're up 20s, may not necessarily be favorable this time, especially because you have so much to lose as you have those gems. 7 rings don't necessarily have those gems to lose, so they can push in. But these level 20s are going to make things much harder for the 7 rings. Anything to kind of note about the talents we see so far up to these 20s while these web weavers drop?
No, they look fairly standard to me, especially with that Genji upgrade for his ult. That's a lot of cooldowns he could get.
I definitely don't see Gas Bag as much. I feel like we more often not see Master Hooker at level 20 for Stitches, but I do like the unstoppable choice into things such as Joanna, into things such as Junkrat with his traps. I do like this pickup by Sexy Exy.
Also with the Gorge too, but doesn't that he can proc the Unstoppable with his Gorge? They can just walk away, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You can then just grab someone unhindered. Oh, you can't really do much when you're silence trapped, but that's just your silence. The only person who can do anything is Gal. And I want to see a Cho'Gal. I just want to see a Cho'Gal in this game. Is it too hard to ask, teams?
Yeah, and on this map, it definitely could work.
We're a little bit too late for this map, but there are at least 2 more maps this... At most, I should say, is 2 more maps this series.
Ooh, are they going to bait boss here? We finally get our boss?
Oh, Genji is just running distraction while everyone else goes boss. I actually like the idea.
Absolutely.
I think they figured it out, however. Maybe not.
I think it's too late.
20s are now online for them, so they could have probably made it there if they realized the 20s were going to pop through at that time and they could have grabbed those extra waves, but a little bit too late at this point. We do see Tessa puts out wall. Hook barely find Joanna, but we see the Iron Skin is popped immediately. However, that is a Silence Entomb directly under Joanna. She does not have much choice to go anywhere because now we see a Tass Wall. Ancestral keeping them up though, and the second Ancestral Burst is going to be going off now. Very good healing for that Joanna. Very unfortunate she went down there, but now we can see the Gorge onto Li Ming, and there's not going to be too much else to get her out except her own teleport. That is going to be Li Ming going down first in this team fight, which, to be fair, considering how much has been thrown out so far, very surprising. That was the first kill. And Cyrus goes down.
Yeah, and unfortunately for this team fight, it's not what they wanted because they needed to focus clearing boss.
Flyest Raven barely holding on. We see Joanna goes down, and this may just be an end call by the side of Big Push Power. Oh, and Tomb onto the Rhaegar. Rhaegar can't go anywhere, and yep, that's all 5 team members dead. That is going to be GG for this first map of the series as Big Push Power goes up 1-0. Good first map.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, as someone who you said you don't know much about Heroic Division and you're not quite sure if you'd be ever up there, how do you feel about how that first map went?
I would say that it's very clean. Although like the blue team didn't come out on top, I would say like just what they were running for rotations and how they were trying to run their team fights. It was very clean. Like you could tell that they were very comfortable in their hero choices and their abilities to do so.
And actually looking at the talents, anything kind of stand out to you in particular there? I do like seeing the Tassadar W build is probably a thing I like to note. It's not often you see, it's actually one of the more common ones in NGS, but you don't actually see it outside of NGS or competitive very often. But anything else that kind of makes you go, I wonder why that was chosen?
I was like, as far as Li Ming 16, I do understand the value behind Diamond Skin. It just, is unfortunate because, having the additional Qs really help with that extra damage put out, especially since she takes that level 1. So it's unfortunate, and maybe it could have actually worked out in her favor if she had taken it anyways. But like I said, I understand why the need for the diamond skin. So that's the only thing that really sticks out to me the most. Wait, is that totem heal?
Oh yeah, it is.
I haven't seen that one in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, we don't see it as often, but it is still an effective talent. Like, by no means is it a bad talent. Just it means you can't always use your totems aggressively, which some Raygars do. But it looks like Root Beer Guy was finding a pretty good balance between getting them aggressive and getting them defensive enough where it was still putting out that healing. However, the game didn't quite go in their favor, because as we look at stats in terms of healing, they did 51k compared to Brightwing's 85k, but Phase Shift does an excellent amount of healing throughout the whole game, and Rhaegar Ancestral was just not quite fast enough a few times. Big Push Power did have that kill potential where people were just kind of popping before they got the chance. In terms of damage, excellent damage by Junkrat, just proving why they are an annoying hero. Genji, however, doing excellent that series, finding 8 kills, 53k damage themselves, and that is very much helped by that Shingen Shuriken Mastery talents at 13 and 4 respectively. In terms of Siege, we do see Tessa actually 186 most Siege on their team compared to the 114 by Deathwing, and that is very much echoes in the Siege itself. 17k from the Tessa, 14k from the Deathwing.
Go on. I knew Genji was going to have a good game. It was it seemed like it would, since they didn't have like a firm like a point and click stun or something to like keep him still, so he was able to get out and kind of juke a bit, get out of harm's way. So that was fun to watch.
I can't read what map that is that they just posted. Like, but I'm 99% sure it's Infernal Shrines.
I believe that's Infernal Shrines.
No. I don't want to do Infernal Shrines. I don't want to do it. No, it is.
Your favorite.
Oh, no. I will always state that I enjoy playing Infernal Shrines. I do enjoy playing Infernal Shrines. I maybe gaslighted myself at that point. But I do recognize it is probably one of the most fair maps. A lot of people very much enjoy it. And even though I complain, I do recognize it is a fun map for the spectator as well as the player alike. So how do you think this one will go? Seeing kind of how the teams played that first map out, do you expect it kind of to be similar, or do you expect this to be any different to the last map?
I feel like after the last match that they're gonna Seven Rings is gonna pull out something onto this map. It's a good map also for Deathwing if they choose to take it again. Hogger unfortunately was banned, so I assume it's going to be banned again. This is a very strong map for him too.
Yeah, and I'll say
Diva
that
could be fun.
I'll also say that last time we were here on Infernal Shrine, Seven Rings did take the win on this map over Big Push Power. So maybe they're just going, okay, it's worked for us before, let's try it again, as we are going to be getting into that draft.
And I don't know if we're going to see Stitches this game, because Hook is going to be kind of hard on the objective itself, so, but you never know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I doubt we're going to see Stitches as much, but you had already hit the nail on the head there. But I'm certain that, I'm certain that Sexy XE has other tanks up their sleeve. Also know that I think C2T2 was not... Yeah, so we see actually there has been a sub for one team. Concept is not in this map. We do actually see it is going to be C2D2 in instead. So a little bit of a switch up with what we have.
So it looks like they decide to take map pick.
Yes, Seven Rings went map pick. Because, yeah, it worked from the full main... Oh, yep, fair enough. Get Mephisto out of here. No fun, boo!
Good map.
Yeah, that's the problem. No, yeah, what a surprise! This exact same band so far. Wow. Shocking.
To be fair, on this map, both of those heroes are just disgusting, so...
I prefer the phrase fun.
True.
On this map, both of those heroes are very fun. Similarly, Sylvanas also gets a lot of value in this map as well, so get rid of her. And I know you're probably a little bit hurt seeing Sylvanas banned out this much.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. She should be banned more often than she's not, especially in our division.
I'd ban her, don't worry. And Zeratul banned. So we have the exact same bans as last time. To be fair, also wouldn't be good enough to play Division B with. But here we are. If it works last time, may as well continue doing the same thing.
Well, if they also plan to take the Genji again, that's a very strong counter to Genji, so remove it off the table.
Yeah. But you still have things such as Ufa, which I can see.
Ooh, another Johanna game.
Yeah, and the second bit Johanna, interesting bit does get through. And we see Greymane. Greymane I do love watching. It's one of those ones you don't see as much, but definitely is one of those ones where I'm kind of hyped whenever Greymane appears on the field. What shall we see next? You don't need to pick tank this early, right? The enemy already has Via tank. Maybe you take your damage dealer, or maybe tank damage dealer.
Maybe Diablo. Oh!
Ooh, there you go, you're right. Diablo was banned out last time, so that's actually a very fair pick. So I'm interested to see what they change now that definitely.
They do have the Greymane though, so Greymane Cursed Bullet into him and Johanna's blinds. It could be strong.
I like your just go to us. They're just gonna shoot Diablo. Well, what's a big demon gonna do against a big bullet? We see Junkrat is banned out this time around. Or Avina was the person playing Junkrat for the side of the Seven Rings last time. And now that they've picked up the Greymane, which I don't know quite what each of these players' hero pools are, it is a fair enough ban nonetheless. It's sort of heal it. Stukov's an alright ban. Deckard's an alright ban. Genji, they're actually banning themselves. Interesting. And Rexar's picked immediately. Rexar was banned out last time, so it is a fair enough ban this time around. I'll pick this time around. You're like, I finally get to play my character. Excellent. Gonna grab that before anyone else goes no to me.
So I assume that our Ling Ling player from last game potentially is a Genji player?
Potentially. Let's have a look. They have played a few Genji games this season for Seven Rings, so you know what, it is a reasonable ban, but we are just going to see Li Ming in again. Not the best at shrine clear. Those minions can eat a lot of the, or shrine fighting, I should say. The minions can eat a lot of the orbs. But it can still work given the right circumstances, and if you pick your fights at the right time, you'll do well. And now we also see Chromie and Felstad. I do like the composition, and we do see Lucio rounding things out. If it was a Lucio player, I just called it one game early.
I like the Lucio, but unfortunately for Lucio, he can't really just do as much as he wants with a wall banging Diablo, so...
Oh, just boot the Diablo, you'll be fine. No need to worry, you have a Q, you have hopes and dreams, you have sick beats, you'll be fine. I don't know where I'm going with this, I'm just like going downhill and just gonna keep saying things and just you'll be fine at the end. And I'm certain...
I beat him.
Break it down as you're gonna live. Oh, but seeing these comps, kind of who are you expecting to start? Actually, no, let's not ask that, because last time you said Seven Rings and we saw how that went. So we are going to be loading into the game. Both of these teams have pretty good shrine clear. Both of these teams have pretty good wave clear. In terms of shrine fighting, I may put it in kind of the corner of big push power, but it's really hard to say. Because, well, one good pick by something such as Li Ming or Greymane, and that very much turns around very quickly.
And Greymane does have fantastic clear for shrines too when he's in wolf form, so he can just clear those minions fairly fast. But Chromie is going to be a nuisance because he can't get too close to Chromie.
Chromie's going to be a nuisance because she hits sand from 10 miles away.
Unless she goes loop, but I don't think she's going to go loop this game with Lucio if Lucio goes.
Yeah, it'd be a bold choice to put it that way.
And Sans is really strong on this map anyways, because it just takes over the objective.
Maybe Greymane does just go,
Curse Bullet. Go for the throat?
Go for throat, yeah. Maybe they do just go for throat.
They Could potentially, because that's really strong blow up,
Hmm.
especially into the Falstad and the Chromie if they can get them positioned.
But even
just
Brightwing,
right.
Brightwing does step up, like Brightwing kind of you have to step up a
Yeah.
lot to do a lot of your healing. And that's been something who, if I'm correct about Blink heal range, it should be within Greymane's go for front range if she does come in and just even immediately step back, she should still be in trouble. Right. Let's get into the game, shall we?
All right.
Right, I will take the curse from you and introduce 7 rings myself this time. So you see Mexicano is on Vet Joanna once again. Crown is on the Li Ming. Avena Quaker on that Greymane. Root Beer Guy. Lucio and Ratific's else. We do have Cyrus on the Rexar. And what do we see on the side of Big Push Power?
We see Sovereign again on the Bright Wing. We have Sexy Exy on the Diablo. We have C2Disu on the Leo. Everybody's typing over their name.
Mm-hmm.
Flyest Raven on the Falstad. And I still can't see their name, unfortunately. Oh, Final Stand on Chromie. Sorry about that.
There we go. No worries. But looking at everything, we do see there's a few fair bits of stacking going on here. We can see Chromie is going Deep Breathing at level 1. And we see Gathering Storm on Falstad. So they actually got quite a spell damage heavy team by Big Push Power. Unfortunately for Big Push Power, there's a little bit of curse going on for me recently that every time I've casted a team with double mages, it doesn't go well for them. But this is already a good start as we do see Lucio Root Beer Guy does go down. And Fly's Raven able to get out without taking too much damage from that Li Ming.
And that Polly did come out on the Greymane. Oh. And
Nice
he's going to get wall ganked.
A no flip.
I guess they figured they might not get the kill, so just to rotate upward.
But we do see Leoric is double soaking already. Which, yeah, they can do it. Both teams going to be picking up their own camps. As I zoom all the way out. It was done a little bit faster by Big Push Power. 7 rings, however, not too far behind still.
Oh, we're going to get a potential team fight here.
Come on. Fight on the bottom cap. Feed on the bottom cap. Yes! And 660 was found immediately.
Oh, beautiful combo by the Li Ming onto the Brightwing.
Poor Southern takes so much damage from that Li Ming. Last game it did a lot. This game it's done a lot as well. But very good camp take by the 7 rings. Kind of trying to give themselves even a little bit of an advantage. Just slowly but surely. But we can see Big Push Power already have an excellent tier. A little bit ahead of Soak, but not too far ahead.
Falstad's here at mid, just getting some Q stack.
That minion saved him from eating an orb to the face, but he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine, everyone. Don't worry about it. Just panicking ensues.
Oh, they're gonna help with this camp here in top.
I mean, good timing on these. If it was either the middle or the bottom objective, you'd want to get these camps out a little bit later. But as we do have the Frozen Shrine at the top, you're definitely going to want to get those out as soon as possible because, well, that's going to be a very competitive shrine. Frozen Shrine, Frozen Punch is considered the strongest one by a lot of people, as it does have the ability to turn off buildings. Especially in the early game, you can get a lot of value out of even just a couple of towers being turned off.
Or potentially some good kills under the towers, too.
Yeah, it does allow you to dive towers, which we'll see how that goes. I want to note that we can see Big Push Power take a little bit longer to rotate up as well. Brightwing has phase shift. We do see, never mind, Brightwing's already phase shift. Flyest Raven has Epic Mount. No, Epic Mount's level 20 talent. Flight Path? I think it's called Flight Path, but they're able to. They're a global hero at the end of the day is the easiest way to put it and not just confuse myself.
Yes.
I'm very good at confusing myself, however. No one for
All
it.
these time traps.
Oh, I love Endorno anomalies on Chromie. She does hit the Crown. Crown actually barely getting hit by that wall, but we see Lucio Boot pushing 60XC out of the way. 60XC taking a lot of damage. Here comes the cleans coming out onto them, and 60XC gets to escape. But Vena Quaker actually almost eating just as low. And Southern, 60 health left, does get taken out by the Joe Shield Glare. And we see 60XC going down as well. Quaker, however, goes down. Misha lost as well. How dare you lose Misha, Cyrus? But that is a very good trade for the side of the 7 rings. Losing a bear and a dog just for, well, a demon and a fairy dragon. That's favorable either way. You do get the experience bonus out of it. Oh, well, C2D2 has been doing the objective above.
Oh, Li Ming's getting some really good poke onto like the Chromie. Ooh. That was a good boop into her orb.
I do like seeing aggressive Lucios. They're very fun to watch. Even if I've been absolutely infuriated by going into aggressive Lucios once or twice before. But we can see C2D2 is out of resources, but it's too late. The Frozen Punisher is over to the side of the 7. No, not the 7, it's big push power. And that's a very early jump by the Punisher. Oh, there's still fighting going on above.
Poor Greymane. Yeah.
Oh no,
Greymane got stuck.
Oh no. Oh, jump out from Punisher. Good Iron Skin by Joanna. We can see that full front gate is turned off. And, well, Greymane, the main boss burn is down. It will take a while. Nice stun on the wall by Sexy Exy. The slowing sands just a little bit too much. And we can see Joanna stuck there.
Poor Li Ming is having to take those jumps now.
Li Ming can at least blink out of it. She does have a room to kind of... She can create that breathing room for herself, but it is still definitely not ideal for them to be taking it. But we can see that whole fort basically down. And I don't think that big push power is going to leave until it goes. And yep, there it is. Dang.
Leo's uncontested in bottom lane right now. Just kind of chilling. Oh, here comes Misha and Rexar.
Misha, the important hero of the two. I love playing Rexar. I probably should just give away what I like playing for as like free information when I finally get back into playing the game competitively. But Matt, Rexar is so fun to play.
Oh,
also, that's a massive stun and orb.
Yeah.
660 Billy home. They do have 10 advantage. There's the gust. We do see Lightning Breath out on top. Ruby Guy down to 70. However, Avena Quaker all while going above. We do see Li Ming finds the kill with that Eve, and we see Repulsion. Oh, Wave of Force is picked up. We can see now that Tens are through. There are a lot of kills coming in. C2D2 next one to fall. And that is a 4-man team kill for the 7 rings. Exactly what you want to see here for them who were having a little bit of difficulty starting off.
Li Ming was just popping off.
I mean, that's what you want. 1 kill and then Li Ming starts kind of rolling through them all. So, what heroics do we have on the side of 7 rings there, Pink?
So we have Greymane with Cursed Bullet. We've got Johanna with the Blessed Shield. We've got Rexar with the Unleash the Boards. Li Ming with Wave of Force. And we have Lucio with the High Five.
On the other side, we do see Blink Heal Brightwing Lightning Breath from Diablo, which really starts coming into its own once that level 13 spell power bonus comes through. But we do also see Entomb Leoric, Slowing Sands Chromie, and the Gust Felstad. So very much 7 rings have to be careful, because once Big Push Power hits level 20, they've got some scary storm talents coming through. You have things like the Wind Tunnel. You have things like the Silence Entomb. Those 20s are scary. But by no means 7 rings are a push over that talent tier either. Basically coming out by way on 60XE, and we did hear the Cursed Bullet popped as well, as it did find 60XE directly in the face.
That's going to keep Diablo more at bay too, because he can't just quite jump in there and team fights, because he could potentially get blown up.
And I think that's exactly what you need if you have the 7 rings. You need that threat for Diablo. You need that threat for Leoric. As they're both these heroes are pretty healthy in terms of their own hero pools. They have a lot of health. And definitely with Diablo at full Soul Stone, he is a menace to say the least. But after that team fight, 7 rings do have the experience lead for the first time this game. And they do see that as we're going to be first time, they do get a talent lead as well.
Oh, here's the impact.
Ooh, Avena Quaker was flipped out of that Entomb. We can see that it is Diablo going down very quickly, and that is Soulstone gone. Sylvan taking a decent hit from the orb, and that is a full chase out from the enemy team. C2D2 does live. Crown not quite able to get the kill onto them.
And that's Soul's down, so that's a baby Diablo now.
Apparently, the stream says I'm crushed today, which I didn't know Crush gained a New Zealand accent over a while, but you're welcome, Crush, for borrowing my voice.
And I think they're going to get this objective just fine without any contesting.
But all the while, we do see C2D2 and Fly's Raven have been pushing in bottom. They've got actually a decent amount of that keep down. They are going to be forced out now, but there is a full sail rotate. And I think C2D2 maybe for one on the chop block here. They did heal off that Q. They are the Q healing at level 1, so each time it does hit people, it does heal up. Nice gust by Fly's Raven, as there was that full rotate onto them. They just need to hold on and make sure they survive.
Unfortunately, Boris wasn't able to contribute as much as they would hope. Oh, but there goes Lee. Ooh, oh. Triple. And Diablo might be next.
Li Ming resets are so fun to watch. Just people just pop so quickly, and just hearing it all roll through, like, oh my gosh. Crown is just killing it on the Li Ming. They did still have a pretty good game last map, even though it didn't quite go in their favor. But this one, it is definitely going much better for the team with the 7 rings. It's still not a solved game, however. It is still only one structure down per piece. And that, well, one good team fight can if there's just one good team fight for big push power, even though they're down a couple levels, it can still change the momentum of the game. But they don't have that Stitches hook to rely on like they did last map. It is definitely harder for them to get that done.
It's honestly like great to see that the Li Ming is popping as much as she is, especially on this map, because a lot of people don't believe in her ability on this map. So
are you just saying that as a Li Ming player?
Yes, because people opt to not take her.
Biases, I see. No, she's definitely been less picked as of late, but she is still definitely good in the right hands. And well, it very much seems like Crown is the right hands for Li Ming.
She's killing it.
What do you think? I actually don't know now you say it out loud. I often use she, he. I often refer to the character.
Oh!
I was too busy talking about other things and looking at the camp being cleared and missed the kill, but that's a very good kill onto the file start, and we did see Blessed Shield was used for it.
Oh, and look at this Li Ming. She's feeling
very
like she's
aggressive.
Uncontested. Yeah.
Oh. Lightning Breath pop, we can hear the curse bullet go out. Sexy Exy losing a lot of their health in that moment, but they are going to get healed back up. Li Ming just peppering them with orbs, and it feels like it's Arcane Orbit. No, it's not. It's Diamond Skin once again. God, I had a 10 Li Ming ARAM before. That was torture.
That would be fun. I got murky.
It was at first, until you realize it's just 5 people standing at opposite ends of the screen throwing stuff at us, at each other. Until level 7s came through, then like everyone picked Calamity and things got hectic very quickly.
You'd imagine so.
You see everyone going, oh yeah, I have kill potential now. And that was it. That was the rest of the game.
Well, Misha's doing a good job of watching the rotation.
Look here, Avena Quaker has gone that auto attack speed bonus at level 16, so they are going to be able to chew through damage and such as well.
So we're able
Blue,
to get that
it
bottom
is
four?
pink blackout with me tonight, Blue. Yeah, bottom 4 could be knocked over pretty quickly at this point. We can see
Hi,
they are
Eternal.
Thank you for updating that, Blue, by the way. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, they just run at the building, quickly knock it over, and this means now this bottom objective will be a lot fairer for them, as they are going to have, neither team is going to have that tap up bottom, and actually we see 7 Rings has their own tap up mid still. Oh, so we've been taking decent amount of damage. They do teleport out. We can see West Shield coming out. There is Entomb. Lightning Breath being popped by Diablo, however everyone just kind of walks out of range. Oh wow, Crown very aggressive, gets Gust further back, and now we can see the chase is on for the Li Ming. However, it's going to be Felstar going down first. Greymane dives upon them. You can see now it is a wholesale retreat. The Slowing Sands get dropped down to see if they can help everyone stay. Servant does blink heal out to safety. We can see that it is going to be them going down to Flask as Greymane. I missed it entirely. Went cocktail build at level. Oh my gosh. Crown. Yeah. Kind of expected that one to go down. But they did. Oh. I appreciate that aggression as they did take them down.
I need to be that Li Ming.
I did not realize Greymane went Incendiary Elixir at level 7. You don't see it very often, especially considering that Greymane is leaning into such an auto attack heavy build with that level 13 and 16 that they are showing. But hey, it got the kill onto Brightwing. I don't know if it would have outside of having that bonus, but it worked out. And now we can see, oh, never mind.
I think it's also good wave clear from what I understand, like on shrines and stuff like that, so.
Oh yeah, no, it does very much help on the shrines and the waves. It's just a good burst of damage. And now we can see it is going to be a Mortar Punisher pushing in. I don't think necessarily this is game, but we are very much at the opposite situation we were before, where 7 rings have 20s now, where Big Push Power have 18s.
And will we see a keep go down?
Interesting. Sorry, I just seen Chromie went Blessings of a Bronze, and it's not often you do see that. I want to see how well this works out for the team. Good Gust to kind of alleviate some of the pressure on the keep. But we can see, unfortunately, Deathwing is the one in trouble now. Entomb actually separating the enemy team from Sexy XC. We can see that is going to be Bronze Talon Swap, and that is going to be the Blinded by the Light, well, Wizard by the Light, Joanna using her level 20 to keep everyone up. And that is going to be the keep down.
That is a strong win con already opened up for blue team.
This is a very scary situation for Big Push Power now. They have a lot to deal with. As I said, once level 20s come through, it is going to be very interesting to see which way this goes around. Especially with things such as Blessings of Bronze picked up by Chromie. It's not often I see that talent picked. It's very good in coordinated environments. Not often you still see it picked in said coordinated environments.
And we get Repulsion? I love this.
Oh my gosh, people. I'm just ready to see Sexy XC just going flying into Narnia. And I know Diablos, but in all known laws of aviation, Diablos should not be able to fly. Yet we're certainly going to see it happen tonight. And we do actually see 20s are now coming through for the side of Big Push Power, so that will even up playing field. We do see that at this Wind Tunnel. We do see Buried Alive. We also see Fairy Protector, Brightwing, which that AoE should help. Flyers Raven does get the Gust out. And the Venaquake, however, getting damage on them all the time. That is going to be faster going to first Lightning Breath being dropped. Servant in a lot of danger. Entomb falling just short of Crown. Crown chasing down Servant. Well, so that's happening over the other side. We can see all the while that there is a fight continuing going on. Nice stun by 660 on the wall. And we can see that is a Venaquake going down, but falling Sense of Chromie getting a decent amount of damage through it. C2D2 is being forced to back out. They didn't go off in time. See Chromie time stops. However, unfortunately, she hit herself with them. But it's going to be 660 in final stand, escaping. And Brightwing actually managed to find their way out of Li Ming's range. They managed to hold on in the end.
You think the Li Ming should have chased down the Brightwing?
No, I think it was correct to turn around. Brightwing can do pretty well to escape. I think Li Ming may have been able to catch up with her, but she shouldn't find top keep check. What do you mean top keep check? It's up. This one's down, this one's up. That's your top keep check. You're welcome. That's forward. Wait, never mind. That's also kind of open. But yes, we do see an invade coming out from the side of the 7 rings. And imagine we're going to get the next objective called about the next... I was in the process of saying it, game. You didn't have to cut me off like that. All the final fight. Kind of how do you think this will go down, Pink?
Well, unfortunately for Red Team, they do not have a mid fort. So this actually, they have tap advantage here with the 7 ring. So it could be one-sided, but you never know. They could get a really good fight here. Good wallbang.
Good wallbang, a good wind tunnel. They go well. Speaking of which, Avena being stunned first off is a good start, but we can see that there's already a lot of damage going out onto both the Brightwing and 6X, and we see Hellgate used defensively. That is less than ideal for the team of Big Push Power. However, that's a big silence. Wind tunnel to follow it up as well, but Cyrus gets to live. C2G2 can't get back on top of him. We do see Chromie pops her Blessing of a Bronze. And we can see Li Ming actually uses Repulsion and pushes both Slice Raven and Southern to safety. If this looks out to be the objective going in favor of 7 rings, and we do have an Arcane Punisher coming out in just a few moments. As XXC goes down.
Oh, that Repulsion.
Southern dies now, I believe. Yep, Lucio finds a kill. Flyest Raven gets repulsed a little bit away from the rest of the team, but Final Stand does make their way out, however.
Go, Li Ming, go!
Oh, Flyest Raven's living. Li Ming wants the Calamity kill, but no, they find the Arcane Missiles onto it at the end, and that is them going down. This is now 2 members down. We do see the kill command coming out from Rexar, that upgrade, but I don't know how much can happen. C2D2 hitting excellent in Tombs. We can see that Li Ming gets to hold on. Diamond Skin doing so much to keep him alive. We can see that the Joanna using that Blinded by the Light at level 620 keeps him alive as well, but the core is falling. Arcane Puncher on it. Craymane's on it with that attack speed. So while this fight's going on below, the core is going down, and that will mean we are going to get a free map series in this best of 3. I believe it's best of 3 still. I may need to double check that for everyone. Or someone's going to correct me. And someone's likely going to correct me going, yeah, it's best of 3, and I'll be like, okay then. Thank you. But, kind of, how do you feel... I've gone on to the wrong screen. How do you feel that series went? That map went at the end of all that? That was certainly a hell of a time.
That was a blast, watching the Li Ming just working the way she did. I felt like it was like night and day between the teams from like the first game to the second game, and those are the things you hope to see and want to see more, especially as like casters and viewers. So, and we get to go to game 3.
It should be a good game 3. I'm very curious as to see what will happen for that game 3, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. So in terms of talents, I'll quickly rattle off. I'll start with stats, I suppose. Rexar, Leoric, both very close to the siege, 122k compared to 121k. But the Soak itself, 21k on the Rexar, 15k Leoric, so definitely a little bit of a lead there. In terms of damage, 90k Li Ming, 96k Chromie, but Li Ming was absolutely popping off at the end there. 10 kills, definitely tearing things apart. We can see Lucio did 95k healing. Sovereign, at least very consistent with that Brightwing, still in the mid 80k range for the healing. Any talents leap out to you here, Pink? Outside of Diamond Skin?
No, I love seeing Diamond Skin actually work. It's wonderful to see it, and she got a lot of value out of it this game, like a lot of value. I would not say anything too in particular that stands out to me.
You didn't like all the hourglasses?
Oh, I love actually seeing the additional glasses. It's one of mine to go to these days because you can use it to like tank towers and stuff like that. So it has a lot of abilities when you use it. So I've actually started leaning more towards it. So I commend her for it.
Fair enough. But as I was saying before, the only 2 kind of major talents that stood out to me was Incendiary Elixir at level 7 for Greymane. Not often you do see that, but it did definitely help with the wave clear, and we did see it pick up a couple kills, as well as Blessings of a Bronze on Chromie, but I believe I talked enough about that during the actual map itself, where I don't really need to go on further about this talent being very underpicked for what it can do. So the question becomes, what are we going to see for the next map? I imagine we'll see big push power map pick. It seems to be a trend that the team who map picks gets the win so far, so I guess we'll see how that gets changed. I like reading "Don't be a coward, it's glass cannon or it's nothing." Pinky, you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was writing.
just hear nothing but silence. Like, where did Pink go? Where's my co-caster?
I'm writing. I'm trying to take notes.
How do you feel about glass cannon with teleport build? With Calamity?
Well, it's a goofy thing to do, but it's hard actually to do and pull off but if you take the diamond skin, then it actually makes sense, and sometimes taking force armor at level 1 with it, you could actually probably get away with it stronger. But it is fun to see, and I have seen people take it and just like wreck with it, and I've also seen the opposite where they kind of get torn up because
I'm the opposite.
Yeah,
I'm the one who just dies. But I'll die on Li Ming even if I play her no matter what. So I may as well do some damage on my way out.
I would have to say though, like with glass cannon, if you're able to take it, then take it. because it's super powerful if you have the opportunity to take it. And I'll always take it with like Q build, W build, with Li Ming, in particular. Even if they have a high dive comp, I still find myself being able to put out a lot with that glass cannon. So I don't necessarily hate it. I think it's interesting to see with the Calamity palette. But if you take the right talents with it, then you could probably wreck, especially if you're not getting contested.
Yeah, like if you're not getting contested, albeit if you're not getting contested, Calamity's usually the pick anyway. It's great to go in if you're not gonna have a firm locked in. Outside Diablo and Diablo E Brightwing Polymorph, there wasn't really too much to stop Li Ming from doing what she wanted to do. We can see it definitely worked out for Groundveer.
Absolutely, she was definitely the MVP in that game. That was just insane to just watch her. She even dove on the tower. She didn't care. Met kills. I mean, that was just, and she barely got out of that entomb in the end. That was just beautiful.
Yep, and we can see now we are going to be getting a Towers of Doom game to round things out. And I was double checking, it does look like it is a best of 3 to the people asking in chat. Very much made me doubt myself for a moment when someone's like, 5 I think. I'm like, oh no. Have I gotten it wrong? But no, Towers of Doom, and it is going to be big push power with map pick. So first pick, 7 rings. Do we think we're going to see Leoric again?
It's a strong possibility on this map in particular too. And he is considered a global hero, so even if he dies, he gets to just kind of stay there. And when he respawns, he's in the lane and soaking again. So he can do really well with double soaking. I'm curious to see if they're going to take out Rexar again. He's not like the best double soaker, but he did very, like Misha, those stuns, like especially that 4-man, that was beautiful. I'd love to see a Dehaka.
I was saying, I'd love to see Dehaka as well. I haven't seen anyone play it today.
It's a map for it.
But both teams look like they have played Dehaka once or twice, and both seem to have 100% win rates with Sid Dehaka. So I'd definitely like to see how that goes if either team does choose to pick it up. But I guess there is credence into picking who you are comfortable with.
This could be, if they don't ban the Genji, this could be a Genji thing. Again, especially with rotations, even Falstad could work here with rotations. Li Ming will be fine on this map again. She's not really going to be contested too much. Diablo can get a lot of wall bangs here on this map, so... But if they take Greymane again, that was a really good counter into the blow up onto the Diablo and just keeping him at bay.
Yep. Oh, we see another... Oh, I think I know who's getting banned this game. Do you know the name Elfarak? Wait, what are they doing in here? I don't see them. Am I blind? Are they actually over... Interesting. Do you know much about Elfarak, Pink?
I do not. I've heard the name, but I don't know.
Well,
them
spoiler alert, we're probably going to see Elfarak get banned out. They are notorious for being one of the people who love playing Elfarak. They are very good at Elfarak as well. I've seen them play in-houses and they just never get to play the heroes. They are very competent at that hero. So I want to see it. I pray that 7 Rings does let it go through, but more often than not, it's probably going to get banned out.
And Li Ming should be fine into the Alarak because she can kind of just stay at afar. She won't be able to probably blink as much as she'd like if they get the Alarak.
Do you think they let Li Ming get through again, considering how well she did it on the map where we said Li Ming may not get much value?
Well, I only simply said that people say that it's not her best map. So, but I have seen it in reverse. So, I don't know. We'll see if they let it through. But their bans have been pretty consistent on both sides for the most part. So I don't think we'll get to see a If they ban that, maybe Mephisto goes through.
Oh, okay, I meant to say cast is ready. Whoops. It's like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Cast is ready is what I'm forgetting to do. So yeah, we should be getting into the game shortly. Both teams are now ready. Oh, sorry, I should say we're getting into the draft shortly. The game looks still a little bit off. But I'd be very interested to see where this goes, especially if we see things a little bit more spicy come out, such as things like, I don't know, give me an UFA, make me happy. But we'll have to wait and see, let's see how this draft goes.
Do they ban? I would still ban the Zeratul. I don't know if the Zeratul's still on that side if they swap them out, but
I don't actually know. I don't know who the Zeratul player is.
the Zeratul is actually really strong, so it looks like Big Power took the map. So, oh well, that's a given, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the team who seemed to be picking that seems to be win, so may as well pick it yourselves. And Flyest Raven is the Zeratul player, so they are still in. So it may still be banned out, but now you got to very much go. This is the heroes we've normally banned. We now have to change that up a little. We can't let the Hogger and the Zeratul through, but we can't let Alarak through. Where are we going with this? So we can see Zeratul is going to be the first ban still.
Ooh.
Told you it wasn't going to get through again. There's like a 0% chance of us getting through again, in my opinion.
That's true. That's true. They played it very well last match, and this on this map she can do very well too.
Yeah, Crown absolutely killed it. And there's the Alarak ban. I told you, Alpharak does not get to play Alarak. No one lets them do it.
I mean, their name also gives it away, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's entirely a revealing thing. But what is going to be the next ban for Big Push Power? Is it going to be Sylvanas still? Mephisto once again. So Sylvanas and Hogger, who have been banned for the last 2 rounds, do get through this time around. So it'll be very interesting to see if either.
Do they take the Johanna again? Oh, they take the Brightwing.
Ooh.
They're going to let them have Johanna.
What have they got up their sleeve if they're taking the Brightwing to start?
It's potential that they know they can't ban out every hero, right? And if somebody takes the Genji, then at least them having the Brightwing, that is a good counter to the Genji.
But just play Ufa, man. Ufa's a good counter. It's just bop on the head of a hammer.
That's what some people say, and then I hear other people say otherwise, so...
Also, Blaze and Tychus picked up to start. Likely off-lane Blaze. I mean, Joanna didn't do great the first time round. They did pretty well the second time round, so it's a bit questionable whether it is appropriate to ban them out or not. We also see Rexar picked up once again. You said that Rexar isn't great at double soaking. I think Rexar is great at double soaking with Bird of Prey at level 1.
That's true. I was just more so saying, like, there are other, like, double soakers that tend to be a little bit stronger than he is.
Like
but
Blaze.
Like I said, yeah, Blaze is one of those. And they decide to remove the Sylvanas anyway.
Never mind, Sylvanas still banned. Still no to Sylvanas. Get out of here, Sylv.
Do we get potentially, like, a Hanzo game? Do we have a Hanzo player on the other team?
Let's double check that. We're definitely not having a Lucio by the looks of things. Hanzo, yeah, they do have a Hanzo player. They haven't done fantastic with a Hanzo this season. We may see Genji again. Flyest Raven is yet to pick. We could get something tricky like a Maev coming through. That would be fun to see. It's hard to say.
Do we get an Anduin pickup here with Genji? Oh, there's the Anduin.
Stitches is back, yes! Oh yeah,
Sovin's
usually... Sovin's been the healer the last 2 rounds, so I wonder what they're going to be picking up this time around.
They might do a swapperoo.
Maybe. Medivh and Phoenix picked up. That is a interesting. Very interesting damage rounding it out. Phoenix is not one you often see in kind of a hyper carry-esque position. Medivh can still do a lot of damage, do not get me wrong. A good Medivh will absolutely murder someone, but Phoenix is definitely one of those ones you see a little bit less, but I do see that, well, Avina Quaker has played Phoenix a lot this season. And we do see Cassia rounding out for the side of Big Push Power and into, well, Phoenix, who I just talked about for a little bit. But blinds definitely hurt them a lot.
Yes, they do.
Very interesting to see where this goes from here. But I guess we'll have to see at the end of the day who takes us out in this final map of this series.
It's going to be very interesting with the Medivh.
I pushed the wrong button, no one can hear us. I pushed the wrong button, fuck!
Are we back on?
I'll tell you when.
Oh god.
Sorry, I pushed the wrong button, chat. We asked it. We didn't go out. We didn't go off. We did stay alive. It just ran before opening. We are still here. Sorry about blasting your ears with that sound, but we are getting into the game now. So let me change it on over to that. Right. It's your turn with 7 rings again.
All right. So we have Avena Quaker on the Phoenix. We have Cirrus on the Rexar. We have Mexicano. Wow, I butchered it. On Johanna, Root Beer Guy on Brightwing, and we have the Crown on Medivh.
And on the other side of Big Push Power, we do have Flyest Raven there on the Stitches final stand on what I believe was Cassia. Southern's on Cassia. Final stand is on Anduin. Concept on Blaze, and Alpha Rack on the Tychus. And we see a good luck, have fun. I know, like a little good luck, have fun at the beginning. But now we shall get into it. We do see the Misha getting rooted and just Avena Quaker getting already aggressive on that Phoenix. So thing to note here is not Phoenix stacking. I talk about Phoenix and lost my track of words. Medivh stacking. Medivh does take a little bit stack 40 stacks. If you die with him, it can be very self-tilting to say the least, but we can see that they're very on top of it with their portals, so this will be a very good Medivh game to watch from Crown. The only other things we do see stacking is going to be the Q quest from Cassia. Cassia's going to see if they can get that Thunderstroke ramped up and see how well they can get kills off, and also thank you Raka for the raid. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, hook onto Medivh.
I'm actually, in particular, very excited about this matchup. The Medivh into the Gorge with pull on Anduin, and that could be very. Ooh.
Yeah, that bonus damage from the level 1 of Phoenix finds a kill. I actually love that level 1 of Phoenix. If I'm playing Phoenix, yeah, I'm revealing I've already revealed what I played today. Anyway, I'm going to keep revealing it. If I do take that level 1 of Phoenix, I love it. It is such good clear. It is such good extra bit of burst power that it provides. It's just an excellent talent either way.
I'm curious to see if Sovereign is going to take the Valkyria type, or if she's going to go for Lightning Ball.
I imagine it's still going to be Lightning Ball, just because it can get really weird around this map's geometry, especially the objectives itself. But we can see there was a consideration of the invade of 7 rings, but Big Push Power did push them out of their camp. Also, that's already a pretty decent lead in terms of experience for the 7 rings.
Absolutely. But they just got 4 with Blaze, so I assume he's going to be doing more for the, he's going to be doing more for his wavelet.
Yeah, that does definitely help. Getting through the Incinerator Gauntlets does a lot. Avena Quaker's teleport was actually interrupted, but I don't think the team catches him. No, they do not. And Mexicano's recall was interrupted by a wayward W from Final Stand. Cyrus in trouble? Nope, they are not. They are positioned safe enough where Alpharak cannot get on top of them properly with that trait.
Looks like they're going to trade just fine here at top, and we're going to probably meet here at mid.
Well, that's just how it works. Oh, Final Stand does get dove upon by the aggressive portal. You can see that Flyest Raven does use Friend Hook to move him further to safety.
And here's the full team. On both sides.
Everyone is here. Oh, nice hit by Concept. You can see the pull coming out to Mehikano, but Mehikano is going to be fine. Teleport, letting team members back in. Vina Quaker realizing they're probably not going to want to stick around for too long. So they're back out. No way Rex didn't go Q1 when double soaking. You're right, they didn't go Q1. They went Easy Prey on the Misha. Which, Misha Easy Prey can still do pretty well. It does still soak pretty decently, just it is a little bit slower than the level 1 Bird of Prey. But it does let you camp better. But very interesting. Good pick up there, Ruglord.
And neither team is able to take this objective.
And now both teams have 7s. We are just going to be stuck in the eternal conflicts. I did not realize this was Diablo map. So then actually never mind goes down. And that may be all she wrote for that objective. Yes, it is. Mehikano does get the channel. Avina Quaker now teleporting out to safety.
These portals have been just fun to watch.
I love seeing good Medivhs just aggressive from the get-go. Because I know when I've seen a lot of people play it, they get very timid up until their stacks are finished. So seeing someone just so willing to go in and just do the damage, get what they want done, and the actual team following up with the portal is very fun to watch.
Absolutely. And I just love seeing, like, it's a quick passageway to get to the camp or get to mid, stuff like that. It's fun to watch.
It's very scary if you're the side of big push power.
I don't, like someone said in chat, I don't think Medivh is what you want to see when your Stitches come.
Nope. Definitely not. We may see Bile from Stitches in all honesty. I wouldn't mind seeing Bile either. It can do very well in a lot of situations. The extra slow that comes from it can give a lot of extra bonuses to your team if they are those builds. It helps people such as the Taika stay on top of people. It does help a lot. God, it is just big push power slowly being forced back into their own base. They're not having a great time here.
The only thing is between both of these comps is that they don't have a lot of push potential quite yet. So we only get a little bit here and there on these structures. So it's a little slow going, but it'll get stronger the further we go into this match.
Yeah, very interesting to see how that kind of scales with time. Fly's Raven goes to hook, does not quite find it. We can see 10s are now through for the 7 rings. So it's not necessarily something going to fight. And we see Leyline actually being dropped immediately. Stitches abandoning getting that bottom objective just to see if they need to peel for their own team. And now 10s are through for both sides. And that's Misha gone. Oh, Concept is here. Nice charge onto Joe, but we do see Iron Skin coming out. That is going to be the ult from Phoenix. Oh, there comes Hook. Avina Quaker throwing in. There is a protect, but we do see Ball Lightning coming out. Nice double stun by Concept, and we do see that it is a follow-up of the damage. But fortunately for Medivh, Medivh had already finished their quest, so they did not lose their stacks there. The Concept did try channel the objective, was interrupted by minions. Lightbomb comes out. Mehikano does have the Iron Skin to help them at least survive the stun. And they do actually manage. Never mind, they got hooked back in, they die.
Oh boy.
And that's exactly the fight that Big Push Power has needed. They have been behind for a little bit in terms of kills, in terms of soak. And now that did actually net them a slight lead. Definitely something needed considering it has been a rougher start to the game for them than the previous ones. Oh gosh.
Unfortunately, they can only poke at these towers.
Yeah, as you said, no, you were actually very apt with it. No team has a particularly great soak. Oh, that is not good for either Anduin or Cassia, as we do see they are going to get taken down. Medivh finds the double kill. Blessed Shield finding Alpharak directly under their own towers. They do dash out, but no, Phoenix gets the kill onto them. And now the Siege of 7 Rings is actually slightly better than that of Big Push Power. Phoenix does pretty well at breaking these open. We can see that the towers are going down, and we are going to get them going all the way in.
And now Phoenix gets to do something that he can do well at, which is take these towers and stuff like that. So, and because he's uncontested at this point.
Yeah. If he's just able to shoot, you don't really need too much with him, even though Vina is definitely moving around a lot as that Phoenix,
yeah.
But that is a good conversion, and we can see now the teleport straight on the camp. Stitches is Gorge is the thing to note still, and we do see that is Gorge on the Medivh. Pull coming out from Anduin. There's Light Bomb. There's the stun. Good cleanse by Brightwing. It is going to be Crown going down first, however. Comedy Odin is dropped from Alpharak. I'm not entirely certain about that one there. It is a good deterrent for people staying, and we can see they're now going to siege bottom. But a double objective phase is coming up top, and we're going to have to see rotation coming out from the team.
Cassie is having to take some of these tower shots.
Brightwing came to slow them down. Oh, Anduin barely interrupted by Mexicano. You can see Final Stand is going to have to start backing up. Phase shift coming out from Brightwing. And this looks like it's going to be a fight over before either the damage dealers can even make their way up. We see Flash Raven went for the friendly hook onto Blaze, but Blaze went down. Bottom converted now, and they ended up taking 9 shots from this objective fail. Oh, they don't quite have it yet.
Oh,
Grenade barely didn't make it. Yep, so they end up taking 9 shots from this objective phase. Vena Quaker pulled and Gorge. However, it is going to be Medivh there ready with the portal, with Protect. Vena Quaker actually just teleported out.
Oh, he made it!
They said, don't worry about portal, mate. I've got myself out. Lo and behold, they do make their way out of danger, even if it was probably cut a lot closer than it should have been.
I think they were kind of body blocking it a little bit from that portal, so I think that was his best bet, was to just teleport out while they were focused on the portal.
It is a good play, just to stand directly on top of the portal and see if no one can click on it. Then there's me, who somehow keeps accidentally entering portals that I just don't know are there. Very good at accidentally entering portals. And Blaze has to do a U-turn as he does not quite want to run into the full 4-man, 5-man actually, coming out of a portal.
Wrong neighborhood.
How does Misha get through a portal? Does Misha go with Rixa? Does Misha have to click on her own?
That's a good question.
I've never watched it. Oh, gosh, I guess I have to watch for that later. Have to keep an eye on that one to see if that does indeed happen. But no, we are going to get everyone coming down bottom. They're looking to see if they can push in again. Blaze double soaking. Rixa double soaking still. I guess Misha double soaking considering what level 7 it is. Level 1 it is, I mean, but they are still trying their hardest to stay in this, as both teams slowly making their way towards 16s for this single altar phase, where 7 rings are a little bit in favor in terms of the actual objective currently. Call this fight. You got this.
Me?
Yes, you. Who else is in the channel?
Okay.
Well, or they're just going to give it and it's going to work.
Oh, there was a hook, but it was a Misha.
And just like that,
team fight.
You did it. You called it, you did it. But they were down 15s at the time, they are still, so it was not really something you want to push into. Because if you do lose that fight, then all of a sudden, oh, we'll just take your fort, then take the objective. And it's not too much you can get done then at that point, and that is a slippery slope for big push power.
It's unfortunate that that red side hasn't been able to get much pumpkin value this game, because either it's been taken from them or the Phoenix just clears it right up.
Yep, and Phoenix is great for clearing things such as these camps. Hook does find tower. We do see it is going to be a very slow siege in that case. Blizzard Shield all the way from the end from Mexicano. Final Stand is going to be going down before the light bomb can go off. And that is now going to be a lot of damage coming on out. There's a good slow on to Flyers Raven. That extra damage from Purification Salvo on slow targets does so much. See now Alpha Rack going down. Nope, they do dash. However, Vena Quaker quickly running after them. That move speed from their level 4 does so much nice charge from Concept. They are, however, not going to live too much longer, as this tower is now going to belong to 7 rings after Mexicano gets off of them. Oh. I didn't even see Cassia down there. I didn't even see Cassia down there. I was just watching everything that's happening around this area. Jeez. But no, what a blessed shield from Joanna. Absolutely reached for it and they found it. But this now is a position where, well, 7 rings can end. If they get all 3 of these objectives, that is it. 15 shots available for them right now. I don't know how well Final Stand will be able to stall this top one.
It's gonna be kind of scary to stall it.
Yeah, I think Stitch has kind of given up. Yep, that is all 15 shots, and that will be the game. And if I am correct, the series going over to the side of the 7 rings. GG, both teams. Well played.
Very well played.
All I can say about that is, dang, that was a good series. How are you feeling about that at the end of it all? Did it kind of meet your expectations of how it would go, or what was it to you?
Absolutely. Like, sometimes you're not sure when you see a Medivh and how things are going to turn out, but that is the Medivh I wanted to see, and I got to see, and that was just blissful to watch. And Phoenix had a field day this game. Again, it was wonderful to watch. So Johanna got to go through every game too.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Johanna go through as much as it does, because definitely in I'd say roughly in divisions E through A, it's almost banned not every single time, but more often than not it is banned out. But seeing it being actually played every single map this series has been nice to see. So I'm going to quickly run over stats and we'll have a look at talents. In terms of stats, we do see, in terms of siege damage, actually Blaze had a decent amount, 109k compared to Rexar's 89k, but Soak very even between the two, 17k compared to 16. Which really, you are there more for the Soak from the actual siege itself. Hero damage, Phoenix 44k, Cassia 40k, so very close between them. And even Medivh was starting to make their way up there, 26k themselves. Healing, very low healing number game, 54k on Brightwing, 31k Anduin. And is there any talent that stick out to you there, Pink?
I would, let me take a look real quick again. The only thing that surprised me was seeing Master Assassin. Typically, I don't usually see that talent. Some people go with the stacking, some people go with the other. But so it's that was very interesting to watch.
Doing a best of 5.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, we are. Right, let's see how this goes. It's best of 5. As we're going to have, well, I hope you bought some water if you had a problem occurred in my game.
Yeah, I have my water.
So we are going to be getting a best of 5. I was just going to apologize for saying sorry. I didn't realize it was BO5. I'm going to have a quick drink as well, but my gosh. Right. I was wrong, chat. We're going to be still going. Let me have a quick drink. As I'm just going to mute myself. Pink, talk to chat. Tell them they look cute or something.
Hello, chat. You look cute. Hope you guys are enjoying the games as much as I have. This is my first heroic to do casting, like co-casting, anything like that. So this has been quite the opportunity for me to be part of. So I thank both teams for allowing me to be here. And I thank you, chat, for being engaging through the series. What we thought was a 3-part series is a 5-part series. So
look, sometimes I just miss the memo. It typically is meant to be best of 3, but very much teams can choose to choose for it to be a best of 5, and it looks like that's what the teams opted into. So it will definitely be a fun one to watch. And I do like Dragonshy. Dragonshy is actually my favorite map to play. I know it's not probably a common sentiment for it to be a favorite map, but it's definitely one I enjoy a lot.
Absolutely. The fun part about Dragonshire is there's several ways that you could play this map. You could play it in 1-1-3. You could play it in a 1-4. There's just I like the 1-3-1 in particular, where you have an anchor in bottom lane and you have an anchor in top lane, and then you have a 3-man rotate to wherever they see fit. I especially like seeing Junkrat on this map as an anchor. Chromie can be a good anchor on this map. Zagara can be too. So any of those kind of heroes that can just sit there and do what they do best and hold their ground, it's going to be fun to watch.
I imagine we see Junkrat may either be picked or banned here. I imagine Junkrat is very good on this map around that bottom objective. He's just so annoying to push into. And even the triangle itself. He could just put a trap in a very aggressive bush and just laugh at people. Unless
one team takes Deathwing as an anchor into the Junkrat.
Hopefully, I say unless Junkrat is banned and just left it at that.
Yeah, right.
Junkrat banned. Moved on. Point mute. Next.
This could be a potential Li Ming game again if they let it through. I assume they're gonna probably ban Mephisto again, as they've been doing each game.
God, I want to see this Mephisto, considering how much it's been
too.
banned out. I want to know how scary that Mephisto is. If they're constantly going, no thanks, don't want to deal with it. That's a little bit too much for my taste, mate.
I think the reason why he's also, like, not even just him being a strong hero, he can be played on, like, nearly every map, which is very strong. So having a hero that can play on most maps is really strong. Even, like, on BOE, Braxis and stuff like that, those areas that they have to fight under Immortal, he can be very strong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely a scary time for them either way. What I'm going to do is say casters are ready, and we'll see if we can when this moves along.
Do we get another Rexar game?
This is one of Rexar's best maps. I imagine we may see it. I actually don't know what Big Push Power need to prioritize here in terms of bans.
They're going to have to let something through, whether it's the Sylvanas, the Mephisto, or the Li Ming, because if they plan to take another Stitches game, they're going to have to ban the Medivh.
I feel like Medivh is the least likely to be banned out still. I don't know why I get that feeling, I just think it is. By no means is it a 0% chance, but it is still, compared to the others, the least likely.
It was very impactful in that last match, though.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Very impactful. But we see Li Ming is banned out again. Immediately. And Lewis, this is a best of 5.
They don't want that Li Ming.
They do not want to deal with Li Ming.
They don't want that Li Ming.
That's entirely fair, though. I don't want to deal with Li Ming half the time. Which is why I banned it out when I do in-houses.
Yeah, well.
I just have to target certain players to make sure they know.
Zera ban is highly appropriate on this map.
Yeah. And they've just been banning Zeratul each time anyway. And Rexar is the one banned out. Yep, as I imagined. Cyrus has shown to be very proficient with Rexar, and this is one of, if not the best Rexar map.
Do we get a Mephisto this game?
It is possible. I would like to see it.
I would love to see it. We both agree. We want to see it.
But I don't necessarily know if it is vital to what Seven Rings want to do.
Question is they going to let the Johanna again through?
That is a great question. Or do they just still... They haven't really been prioritizing Johanna. So I think we may just see another hero picked up once again. Maybe for Brightwing, maybe Junkrat. Chromie even. They've shown they already play Chromie. Like, all these heroes are good options nonetheless. And we do see actually they pick up the Mephisto. Okay. Okay, not what we were expecting, but hey, appreciate it nonetheless.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to wonder next. If they're going to opt to not take the Johanna and take the Anubrak.
I do like the Anubrak.
Yeah, but the only problem is now if they opt to take the Johanna and Mephisto together, that is a very powerful lineup.
Yeah, it definitely would be scary for the side of a Seven Rings.
And if that team also plays like a Maiev, that would be just...
They do.
Ooh,
Dahaka, okay. And Anduin is back. I do like the Mephisto teleporting in with Light Bomb on them. It is a pretty strong choice. Not guaranteed to get the kills that you expect, but still a very strong choice.
I've had someone try to do that with me when I played Mephisto, and I was like, this is not what I was not prepared.
This is not what I signed up for.
Oh, they opt to ban the Johanna, and that, I think, was a very smart move on their part.
So not Seven Rings. Big Push Power do play Maiev, so that is an open option. You can see Junkrat being banned out, which not very surprised about, as we did say. It's already insta-pick Deathwing.
Ooh, the Deathwing. I don't know about Deathwing though into Mephisto.
This may be the offlane Deathwing.
Yeah, it's ooh, and they pick up the Genji.
I like Genji on this map. Really good at picking up that mid soak and making their way to either of the two lanes.
Not even just that, they have the Brightwing this time too, so they, you know, they don't have anything to really stop the Genji, so...
No.
And Genji actually works well into the Mephisto because he can just protect himself when he's doing his lightning, so that can be impactful to Brawl.
And Diablo. So Thrall will be kind of their mid lane anchor, I suppose. It's very often you'll see Thrall... not very often, but if you do see Thrall on these maps, often they are going to be mid lane and rotate to the 4-man when needed. It's actually a style of play that I do enjoy seeing from teams. So Big Bush Power is definitely playing to something I'm going to go, maybe I cast them more next season if they're going to run things like this.
I think that was a smart move too on their part because Thrall is a little bit more beefier too, and having a safer rotator with a Genji on the map. Oh, and they choose Phoenix.
Oh, okay, it's this style of play where you can just teleport over a wall and kill someone. Got it. Between Anubrak, Genji, and Phoenix, well, even after 10 Brightwing as well, all can make it over a wall just to jump on someone. That gets very scary no matter who you are on the enemy team of Big Push Power. We'll be interested to see how it goes.
I'm not sure how this is going to go for either side because either side could... I think either side could potentially come out on top on this map.
So the question is, will we just have a 4-map series or will we go all the way? I definitely wouldn't mind seeing it go all the way, even though part of me was going, I want a nap. I don't need to nap. I just get tired very frequently because this is like one of my few off days I have from work, and I get tired pretty easily.
That's respectable.
I don't even have an excuse for being late. It's 3 p.m. And it's like, nap sounds good right about now. No. We do have a best of 5 on hands, and we'll see how this goes as we get into the game.
Prepare for combat.
So,
I do think it's quite interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
How you say what you want to.
That they decided to not ban Mephisto and take him first pick.
I guess I didn't know his hero pool, but we will get into that in a few moments. So on the team of the 7 rings, we do have Cyrus up in the air on the Deathwing. Mihikano is on the Anubrak, Crown, Genji, Avena Quaker on that. Phoenix and Root Beer Guy is on Brightwing. And what do we see for Big Push Power?
We have Final Stand on the Diablo. We have Sovereign on the Anduin. We have C2D2 on the Dehaka. We have Alpharek on the Mephisto. And we have Flyest Raven on Thrall.
Huge 4-man stun by Cyrus. Oh, Root Beer Guy getting pushed back into tower range, but does escape this via shield and the move speed from themselves, getting them out fairly safely.
I'm not entirely sure about the matchup with Dehaka and Deathwing, so this could be quite interesting to watch.
Okay, let's just watch the offlane then. No, we'll go back down here. I know people don't like watching the offlane. We do see that Mehikano does escape to safety. However, Flyest Raven and Final Stand still looking to get quite aggressive. But it looks like we are just going to have the Thrall offlane, Thrall mid lane, I guess, continue. And then they immediately made me a liar and ran back down bottom. But instead, we do see it is going to be C2D2 picking up double soak in the meantime. So then, now that they're here, it's going to pick up what is left lying on the ground.
And you can see that blue team is already in position, taking this top camp to help give their Deathwing an advantage in top lane.
Very early on the Bruise camp, very quick. Unfortunately for Big Push Power, they didn't realize what was happening, otherwise they could have had a pretty easy camp steal. But Root Beer Guy is the one in trouble, but cleansed themselves out to safety. Also, the Hawk is about to be ran down by 2 heroes. Oh, C2T2, as soon as I put the camera on you, you should not miss a tug. Nope, they're going to be fine.
Dehaka! Dehaka!
Hello, Dehaka.
Okay, kill Dehaka.
He's just a healthy boy. He's getting very low, do not get me wrong. They're doing very well to kill Dahaka. And Dahaka is going to be harassed, so they can't even half properly. They're going to have to take their time getting back. Meanwhile, we can see it's been pretty even fight bottom. Big push power and the 7 rings trading pretty well. And Thrall is doing their best to pick up that mid so it can help Dahaka out as needed. But however, that first gate's already going down. And we do see Thrall is joining the 4-man bottom.
Top lane's getting a lot of value up here with that camp.
Yeah, they're still going. C2D2 very low. Actually got hit by the stun of Cyrus. If Crown realizes that may be up a very dead Space Yoshi. Thrall may be better into Deathwing actually now I think about it.
He can actually do very well into the Deathwing. That's one of the heroes I hate seeing.
Oh. I love seeing Thrall, unironically. You don't see Thrall very often, but it's very enjoyable to see him when he does come out. I'm a bit sad they didn't go Crash Lightning at, not Crash Lightning, I'm Rolling Thunder at level 1. That could have done very well into the Deathwing into the Anub'arak, but it is going to be the more standard Echo of the Elements offlane clearing style of gameplay, which I do very much so appreciate from the Thrall.
I think it's also good for team fight too, since he's more with the 4-man as well, because there's no, there might not be a chance that he can get quite too close in.
To get those autos off?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, nice pull from Summit. And we can see all while C2D2 and Cyrus are playing Ring Around Verosi, no one gets to touch the objective up top. Genji goes in to see what they can do about Flyest Raven being a hassle in the mid lane, and they do eventually get out. Also, Dahaka just burrowed bottom, but we do see Flyest Raven is going to go down. But we can see the objective is picked up. Meantime, Thrall does lose their stacks of Frostwolf. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Frostwolf pack.
And I think blue team is safe to rotate in here, even with the Diablo lurking. Oh, here comes the rest of the team now. Yep.
Nice charge onto Avena, takes a decent amount of damage even through that shielding. Meanwhile, we see top 4 is finally going to go down. That is a very early fort take on this map. We're not even 5 minutes through, and top 4 of all forts went to go down? That's impressive.
That's actually... I know that bottom lane is prio, especially for like with all these camps, but to free up top lane, I think it's impactful because that allows Deathwing to rotate more.
It makes it so much easier for Deathwing as well in that kind of off-lane fight. Alpharak barely getting to live, by the way. We do see that there's a route after flip on the Southern. Alpharak healing up slowly from their tap. Meanwhile, I can see Thrall just slapping Genji at the top of the screen there. Typically it is best of 3 is the answer, but the teams, I think, agreed to it being a best of 5, and we do allow that if they so choose.
Is that in any division?
I think it is an exception made for Heroic and Nexus, but they'd have to agree. Both teams have to agree upon it. I'd have to double check.
It's kind of hard not to agree to it when a team asks for it, right? So
you can just say no. And the thing is, you need to ask before the match, so you're not just like, hey, now that we're like about to lose, yeah, no, that'd be great right about now. No, it has to be agreed upon before the start. But to answer the question, chat, I thought it was best of 3, but I was wrong. Charge coming out to Anub'arak. Anub'arak takes a decent amount, but they do have that 65 spell armor, really nullifying what Alpharak can do as that Mephisto. Vena Quaker got very low there. Genji dashing in on Southern. We do see that it is going to be the spell armor keeping Avena alive as the drain souls, or consume souls, not quite sure what it's called off the top of my head, does go down. And we see Genji dies to that Mephisto before they can get phase shifted upon.
And I don't know if, I'm sure that the protection shield was also down at that time, so that was most unfortunate. Oh, and poor Anub'arak. And
now we see the momentum shifting, a big push powers favor. They have very much been needing to get this under their thumb. Because, well, considering they lost top fort so early, they really need to now make the most of it and see if they can even things up. Alpharak did get the building to target them as Avina just kind of ran straight into their damage circle and decided that was what they wanted. And that is a kill. The light bomb actually finishes off the Phoenix. Mini pull there out by Southern, but that is going to be Diablo going down. That is a Soul Stone reset. And now we see Deathwing flying in behind. Southern is going to go down. Genji on top of him. Cyrus does get the Horrify onto them. Or actually, Bellowing Roar, I should call it in this instance. But that is still a lot of damage coming out from the team. And we see everyone's having to back up. Very low mana Flyest Raven, very low mana Alpharak. And that is actually going to be Flyest Raven going down. But that is going to be a new Brack flipped over wall. And they're going to go back to whence they came. Straight back to the Hall of Storms. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, now Antoine's back up. We'll see if they're able to get this objective or not. But probably not, since their Hawk was right here.
Dark is doing very well to stall this out while they fight over the objective bottom. And we do see that it is finally Crown and Root Beer Guy throw it off the point. And Final Stand is able to channel that over so Taka can leave their little 2v1 there in that middle area.
And currently they have nobody stopping this in bottom lane, so it's unfortunate because it's going to get some work here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need for big push power, especially as now you are a talent tier a little bit behind. The 7 rings are having to work it to make sure they can keep their advantage as well as they can. You can see that Dahaka was chased out. They had to get chased all the way across the Bridge of Death as well. No fort for you to fall back to. And we can see now Bruiser Camp also going to be pushing in top. Dahaka's not had the easiest time with that this game, and will have to continue to struggle into it.
Yep, and it allows Deathwing to now rotate down here, because if he just gives the that to keep top, that potentially could go down.
Final Stand taking a decent amount of damage there. There is the Molten Breath coming out from Deathwing. Alpharak took a decent amount from it, but no, they're going to be fine, and they actually managed to pick up their own camp. And now we see Brightwing is sitting there alone, does get rooted, does get stunned. We see that Mexicano does make it into distance to give that blink heal to them, but that stun train on the Brightwing is just too much for them to live through.
I think they need to take top lane if they can.
We can see Deathwing is waddling their way onto it now, but Final Stand just a little bit too deep, does go down. And pull was used, however, with the death of Diablo, it means Alpharak was pulled. I don't know if that was Sovereign's intention, but Genji is taken down by the Anduin of the process. Well, this is a very eventful bottom lane so far, just constant kills coming out.
I love seeing the Thrall 4-man.
I just love seeing Thrall in general. It's not often you see him pick, so I'm enjoying this. Flyest Raven actually getting the Light Bomb still offered to Root Beer Guy after immediately getting cocooned. But no, we can see Dahaka now bottom. Does get pushed back. And Isolation falling short of Avina Quaker there.
I thought that was funny, seeing the Light Bomb on the Thrall. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
What, Thrall just running in head first while the Light Bomb was... Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it first either. I still think my favorite Light Bomb combo is definitely Junkrat concussion mining himself into the enemy team, but not often you see that. Oh, this is not where you want to fight anymore if the other side of Big Push Power. That is everyone here. See Anduin gets pulled on the Final Stand. That is going to be the Deathwing using Cataclysm to get in. There comes the Horrify, that Bellowing Roar, but Final Stand is going to be trying their best to hold on to it. Sovereign cannot keep them up. And that is going to be them going down. Dahaka is going to try get the objective, but nope, they're there a little bit too late as Avina Quaker does find that bottom point.
Top lane is pushing in, unfortunately. Dahaka is having a hard time being able to rotate because there's so much map pressure.
Dahaka is always seeming to need to come down. 16s are even. Lightning Breath coming out from Diablo, and we can see that it is going to be the Phoenix going down. Both objectives now in favor. Cyrus barely being found by Flyest Raven, not too far off, actually flying up. That waited to die in time. We can now see that Dahaka is on it. They give a Dragonite in time just before Mexicano does put out that Q, and that is going to be the first Dragonite of the game, 11 minutes and 40 seconds into it. Well, buttons are being pushed. I don't know what else to say. We can see that Genji goes down to consume souls. But outside of it, that was a lot of buttons pushed. for only 1 kill coming out for the side of Big Push Power. But this is the momentum they need. They need to keep this going to see if they can get it to a map number 5 for the teams.
Absolutely. This is like... They're killing it right now.
And it's being the 7 rings. Flip shove onto Mexicano, but we do now see the Dragon Knight backing out. C2D2 is in the firing line, but it's going to be fine. Alpha and Sovin don't get hit by that. I can't remember what the ability is called on Diablo. They don't get hit by the stomp either way. And now it's camp time. Now for some peace and quiet, where we're not just running each other for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, they both definitely earned this little break.
A little downtime from teamfighting. Get to your camps. You can have a great time. Enjoy the views of whatever realm this is called.
Well, they're going to be able to get this bottom camp because blue team doesn't have this bottom lane advantage. So
I don't even know if the blue team realized it was happening in the first instance. As you can see, it has been picked up. I think they may have assumed it was going to be Big Push Power picking up their own bruiser camp, but very good play just taking that neutral bruiser camp. Flyers Raven stepping on up. Stun finding Diablo. It looks like they are wanting to get now the siege camp and see what pressure they can put onto this bottom lane. And it can be very difficult to step into things such as double bruiser with a tank. Triple frontline is inherently going to control some space. And Flyers Raven was able to get that camp themselves and rejoin the team.
I think what's very scary for blue team right now is that red team has just hit level 19 and they have a full level advantage, so they have a 20 advantage coming up soon.
And I actually have to say, even though you say they have to be worried about that, they're very fortunate that they don't have that level 20 yet, because that may have been just a very hard push into bottom keep to take it. But no, instead we do see they just got their camps, got a little bit of the actual keep itself, and then backed out. And Flyers Raven actually manages to dodge Cyrus's stop. You can see, however, they are the ones in trouble. Tahaka's burrowing into that bush. We do see it that it is going to be the Ancestral Wrath used by Thrall there just to get that percent damage out onto Cyrus.
I don't know if Deathwing wanted to use Fear at that point, but maybe it was for the best just in case, so that Genji didn't get tongued by the
Tahaka? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the safe way. Well, not necessarily needed, it's definitely the safer of the plays, where sometimes when it comes to these situations of a game, you just need to make sure that you are getting your team out safely, and Bellowing Roar is a very good tool to do that. Poor Tahaka's just constantly had a 2v1 top.
Yeah.
1v2 top. Oh, so it is here.
Looks like they're getting rotation.
Get out of here, Cyrus, as you just see Anduin run up and just auto-attacking. Anduin does not want to deal with that Death Wing, just forcing them out. Oh, Genji has used jump. We do see they are just going to start walking away as they are out safely. And meanwhile, Mexicano takes bottom, so the objective no longer able to be channeled by Big Push Power. Tahaka, are you going to fight him? Go. Oh, that's not what you want to be, Tahaka, actually. There is a lot of heroes below him. But Genji does go to try harass C2D2. C2D2 hits the tongue onto Genji and is ultimately fine. And now we see Storm Talents are through for both teams. And interesting to see with the Traitor King from Anubarak. Anything standing out to you in terms of these talents here, Pink?
You already said the one that stood out to me the most.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see was that the stun with the chastise? That's gonna be fun to see.
I love Censure on Anduin. I really love that stun.
Rush. Thrall is just gonna be able to teleport.
Oh god. Horrifying. A teleporting Thrall, the thing of nightmares. Definitely lands. You can see that is Hellgate out by Final Stand, however they had the light bomb on them, so it's a little bit of a waste there. And that is a very good isolation. That is going to be actually hitting a few people. Thank you to Contagion. And now we can see that it is going to be a big fight. Athena Quaker and Root Beer Guy makes their way out. Mekano has been left alone. But that is going to be Consumed Souls finding the kill onto Deathwing. You can see that it is going to be the actual Lightning Ring finding the kill onto Brightwing. And now we can see that it is going to be Tahaka and the Dragon Knight pushing in. And this is going to be a very scary spot for the side of the 7 rings now. There's a Deathwing, Death Knight pushing down. There's 2 Siege Camps pushing down. And that is your Anubrak going down.
This might actually be game here.
There's a lot of pressure hitting bottom. You may be right there.
And they only have the Phoenix and the Genji up. Oh yeah, this is unfortunately not what 7 Rings wanted.
But it's what I wanted. We have a 5-map series coming in. Yes! Oh, I look forward to the best of 5s to actually go to map number 5 because you don't always get to see them, but I will always enjoy them.
Absolutely. Well, this is my first one, so...
Welcome. You are welcome for this. But no, that was actually very close for a lot of that map itself. Definitely could have gone either way a lot of time. Just 7 rings didn't quite have it. And we see Big Push Power did push on through to get us to map number 5. Talk about stats, Pink.
Alright, so we'll start with the soak. We could see here that Dehaka and Deathwing, Dehaka came out on top, but that's to be expected with his type of like hero capability and being able to rotate better, I feel like, than Deathwing can. Then we have, let's see, for healers, they're very close in tie. They're only like
good
a
to see
few
you remembered
digits
the
away.
healers this time around. Very good to see you remembered healers this
Trying
time
to be
around.
better. But unfortunately, the Anduin got a little bit more on the Brightwing, but like I said, they both did very well. They were very neck and neck. And as for damage, we could definitely see that Mephisto got a lot of value, and that makes you kind of wonder if they need to rethink a bit of a strategy for next game or potential map pick that they do into a Mephisto possibility. And Phoenix, though, wasn't too far behind with their hero damage at 65k. So it was definitely a very close neck and neck. Even Genji did really well. And, not as much as I thought Thrall was going to do, but I don't think he was able to do that because he was doing a lot more rotating at that point.
Yeah, Thrall was picking up a lot of siege and soak as well, and you can see that did mirror their actual siege talent. 75k, 15k soak. Like, yeah, they did spend their time doing other things, so they weren't fighting always. And looking at talents myself, very interesting to see Drained Souls. It's not often you see it on Mephisto. More often than not, you do see Durance of Hate. But I do like the pickup either way. It did definitely give some extra... There were some extra kills picked up where I thought the team had escaped, and I assumed so did both Genji and Brightwing. Thought they escaped for a few times, but... Consume Souls suddenly come through, you're like, well, bugger, as you do go down at the end. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about these talents.
The one thing about Mephisto that I'm very, that's interesting that I don't typically see is the level 7. Usually you see the Frost, so that you can slow your opponents and get a lot of W value that way. I think the movement speed may have gotten him what he was looking for this game. But I think Frost, honestly, could have also worked just as well, in my opinion. And it is interesting to see the static barrier because I've seen a lot of people go back and forth. At least I've been doing a lot of back and forth between Spite and static barrier. But I think static barrier, he got a lot of shields this game, so he got a lot of value off those shields.
Yep, it definitely did its leg work for him.
Absolutely.
Alright, what do we think map number 5 is going to be?
Well, they took out towers, they took out Dragonshire. We might see like a Cursed Hollow game.
I wouldn't mind Cursed.
I like Cursed Hollow. That could be fun to see.
Which
other ones are... Oh, Sky Temple is another possibility.
Sky Temple is actually the least picked map this season, fun fact. So I don't know if we will necessarily always get to see it. Maybe Alterac, maybe Garden of Terror. I know some people do very much like Garden of Terror.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Oh, wait, Garden of Terror was banned.
Wait, no, you're right. Yeah, I double-checked that. I was like, wait a minute. I'm talking out my ass again. What is left? I can't remember hero pool of a map pool off the top of my head.
I think it's just a few maps left. You've
Alterac,
got
Cursed, Garden. No, not Garden. Sky Temple. That's it. Yeah, that rounds us out to 11. So, what are we going to see, teams? Cursed. It's going to be Cursed Hollow to round out the series.
Well, we got what we were looking for.
You were looking for it. I wanted to see Garden, personally, but here we are.
But it was banned.
Yeah. You're right. It was. I mean, it's not Alterac, I'm happy. And we do see it is going to be map pick by Big Push Power. So Seven Rings did opt for first pick this map. I'm going to tell them casters already, and we may get into this in just a few moments. I can't remember when the last time it was that I actually played on Cursed Hollow.
You in particular?
Yeah, me in particular. I can't actually recall. I feel like I don't play on it very often. I feel like I always somehow end up on like Dragonshire or Sky Temple or Tomb. I feel like I always end up on those maps.
I know that. I end up on Cursed Hollow a lot.
Right, let's get into the draft and see how this goes, shall we? I don't know if you necessarily need to ban Mephisto here.
No. On Cursed Hollow, that the way that objective works, he could get value off of it. So.
Or you could just decide to split push till the end of time and then he's useless.
It's true. You could. This could be one of those games where you just opt to do a lot more map pressure.
Go Samurai, go Zagara, run it down top bot, and just make the team run after you. Go just a bunch of 5 specialists and a Lucio. Do it. Make it happen, teams. And Zeratil's banned out immediately.
That's to be expected.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
They still want none of that, Ming.
Again, fair. Considering how well she did in those 2 maps, never see her again. Banished to the wilds with her.
Oh, no more Alarak.
No more Alarak. There's just no Alarak in general. It was just constantly just saying no.
Same concept. Oh, they don't want Junkrat.
Fair enough.
So do we get a Mephisto pickup?
Maybe.
They're thinking. They're
Oh,
thinking very hard.
What will they decide? Mephisto, there it is. Crown picking up Mephisto. Interesting. May as well, but very interesting nonetheless. Accidentally closed chat. Sorry, Twitch chat. I'm coming back. I have you up again.
So, what do they respond with? Do they take a Stitches? Because the Stitches...
Joanna. No, Stitches would be very good here.
Stitches would be... If they don't take Johanna... Oh, what they're taking what the other team does.
You know what? Fair enough. I feel like everyone...
I think they should take Johanna.
Or they take the Stitches. Oh, Hogger, yes!
Hogger.
Yes!
They could still take Johanna here, and Johanna could do really well with the Mephisto. Ah!
There it is. You're right. Where's my offlane Stitches? I want to see offlane Stitches big push power, just for fun at this point. Gorge for Mephisto, make him scared.
Do we get another Dehaka?
It's a very good map for it. Tahaka and Felstad both have been heroes chosen this series so far, and both do very well on these bigger maps, and that would mean a lot of global heroes for Big Bush Battle.
Yes, it would.
And we see Lucio banned out, however.
They could just opt to take the Anduin to help negate, like, right after Mephisto gets, like, webs, just pull him out to safety.
And Chromie banned out.
Ooh. Oh, that's actually very, very good ban.
Yeah. Greymane, good camps, good on boss. But, you know, I do see what you mean about the Cocoon onto Mephisto. It definitely means they can't escape as easy as they'd potentially like. Correct.
And I have been told before, if you're going to take Mephisto, you want to hope to have Anduin on your side into the Anubarak. Because that's what... Malthael.
Oh!
Malthael.
We are being treated today. Excellent.
We are.
God, yes. But I think they were expecting a triple frontline composition from the side of the Seven Rings, so it very much means that maybe Cyrus isn't as confident or Hogger as Avina, and they're going to have to do a switch around. But I guess we'll have to see how that goes with these final two picks, which will be Healer and Rexa. Malthael may be in a very nice spot here, but I do like the Alexstrasza pick up. There's a lot of beefy boys on your team, you want to keep them alive, but that Mephisto now is very much, if they get cocooned, that is a problem. At least Hogger can break cocoon fairly quickly.
So can Alex and her dragon. And even outside of dragon, yeah, not even in dragon form, she should do well. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Abba Greymane.
They're pulling it out.
We got some interesting comps coming on here. I'm very, very curious as to how this is going to go down to round out this whole side of a bracket, because whoever wins this will be going on to that grand final for Heroic Division.
And this will be the game of all games.
This will be the game. I love it.
This is gonna be exciting. I really like this. The only problem is yeah, Greymane does well on these camps. So can Malthael, but that removes somebody out of their lane, and that could be a problem if Rexar is just shoving in lane, because Hogger can just take himself and go to the camps fairly easily, and Abathur doesn't like to see camps early, especially. So
Abathur at least can pick up the soak in the meantime while people are doing camps, and it does help balance things out. That's probably the thing where it make notice. Taking a while on these objectives will actually be good for Big Push Power, as Abathur will be able to side soak in the meantime. So it will need to be potentially 7 rings covering that while it is going on. So, for final time today, I would like you to introduce to us the 7 rings.
We have Ivana Quicker on the Hogger. We have Saris on the Rexar. We have Mexicano on the Johanna. We have Crown on Mephisto. And we have Root Beer Guy on Alex.
And on the other side, we do have 7 once again on that Brightwing. Flyest Raven. No, not a Rubek. Flyest Raven is on the Greymane. Final Stand is on Nubrak. 7 is on... No, I've already said you. C2G2 is on the Malthael. And rounding things out is Alpharak on the... little old bug in the background. It is going to be the Abathur.
We're going to get some cheesy.
Oh, I love a good bit of the Nubrak cheese. Until it happens to me, then I hate it. Oh, Greymane. And we can see Greymane rolls down. They already found that front gate. Phase shift coming out. Flyest Raven kept up, but I don't know how long for. They dive in. They swipe out. They are going to barely... Nope, Alexstrasza finds the kill with that Flame Buffet. Flame Buffet. As they do find it at the end of the day. And now we see Malthael's gone bottom to deal with the Rexar. Malthael actually if you play your hand right, can do very well into Rexar, but by no means is it going to be a complete check. It is definitely a skill matchup. And on a power horse means they can double soak.
We have Nest for Abathur. This is going to be fun to watch.
Oh my god. That's going to get so infuriating for the 7 rings. I do not envy their position.
Well, the good news is if they're all stacked up in one spot while they're trying to do an objective, if Mephisto can get his ring out to clear it, then that's their best bet for that.
At least Misha can also eat a decent amount of them as well.
Poor Misha.
I know. Also, we see C2D2 has been double soaking. They do have Honor Power Horse, which helps them. Similarly, Bird of Prey on the Rexar does help them to clean things up. But looks like it is just going to be C2D2 staying bottom to help the siege camp. But I don't know how long they'll stay around now that there's two freehold bodies down here. Oh, never mind. Fighting it is. And they do manage to flip themselves out. Brightwing phase shifting bottom.
They do get the phase shift in bottom lane though, so that's good because then she does have a little bit of time before she can get another phase shift.
It will be back up before objective is probably the thing to note. Meanwhile, we see the top bottom rotation coming up from C2T2 as they run all the way up to deal with this. I don't know if they can necessarily stay there for too long. And we also see that is it going to be a very big push by the by big push power onto the 7 rings of mid. Very early teleport by our Mephisto friend over there. But they're going to be fine in the end.
They don't have 10s yet, so he can play a little bit more aggressively if he chooses to.
I mean, his Shade was a very aggressive play. He actually went back towards their keep, then back out into the lane where Shade was.
They're going to get some work down here and potentially get also objective.
Because we just see that everyone's doing top as well. We do see Brightwing phase shifts bottom to help C2D2 slow things down. But Greymane and Anubrak are very good pressure in of themselves, as those Beetle was stopping Flyce Raven getting hit, and we can see Flyce Raven just with that attack speed slowly getting things going. And then at this point you just want to hit that building and take it. You don't even need to fight the Holger, and that's what they do.
I think that's honestly better in their favor. Leaving Greymane to just push like that in a lane is very impactful for the Greymane.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you want to do. You want to get that pressure out as soon as you can, and they did it very effectively.
Look at all these nests.
Oh my god. Just vision dotted around all the map. And they did also, yeah, they're going full mind build. It's prolific dispersal and it's vile nest as well. That is that's an absolute nuisance for either team. But I guess that's why Abathur is holding in mid the whole time. We should note that Final Stand's taking a lot of damage. Elfarak hats them in time, has a little bit enough of a shield to make sure they live. And that's a Anubrak who should probably have died getting to live.
And we do see the spite this game, so those cooldowns are already showing impactful. At least in that mid fight.
Vena Quaker already on objective, Greymane diving onto him as well, and that's a very quick drop onto them. Now the bear is going in, that is Brightwing stunned. Brightwing is the one of the firing line. They are trying their hardest to hold on, but Abathur Hat could not save him. And that is going to be a very convincing fight, just ran over by the 7 rings over top of big push power.
That is going to be tough late game with the Alex being able to go into dragon form for these objectives.
Elfarak is just body soaking bottom. They give a warning ping, so they start heading out. Meanwhile, we do see that there's a check of the top boss. 7 rings now know that they're not doing it. They're just a bit going, okay, maybe they just hit a quick reset to start things off. And now C2T2 rewarded for their patience starting the boss themselves.
I don't think they will actually take it.
I don't know if they want to do it, yeah, because I'm like, Greymane and Anubrak are both bottom. It's not necessarily something you now want to do.
They almost, I was just about to say almost 10 advantage, but they got it right when I was going to say it.
It's always right as you go to say it. That's what you got to learn. I haven't learned that yet, to be fair. But we just see its last right Malfair. We just see Ultimate Evolution Abathur, Blink Hill, Brightwing, Cocoon on the Anubrak as expected. And Greymane is still having a think about it. Well, Curse Bullet is good. You don't necessarily need it. Also, boss is being done.
Curse Bullet, though, could work into those beefy bodies.
The problem is, how much beef is too much beef for cursed bullets?
That is
Because
true.
we see go for the throat instead.
They're choosing to give this objective, and they're taking their boss.
I
They
like
need to
this
hurry
trade
though.
for 7 rings. That's a very good trade for 7 rings. But both bosses were picked up. The top boss is actually going straight on to keep. Keep gate is the issue for the side of 7 rings, while the top one only going up onto 4. Bottom only going on to 4. Jesus, I'm tired.
You're tired. It's my bedtime.
Okay, your bedtime's not for another few hours. Don't you dare lie to me.
It's a work night for me.
Oh, okay, fair enough then. It wasn't even a work day for me. Feels good.
I didn't have to work today, but I do work tomorrow.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry. But bottom boss very much didn't quite have the damage you're expecting on it, so it is going to go down after the fort does. It will die to the gate, but we'll still get a little bit of it. We now see it is going to be a double Anubrak coming out, thinking about Ultimate Evolution. That is a nice stun by Avina Quaker. And that is going to be actually very low Anubrak. Anubrak goes down, the clone of the Alpharak still up. C7 and C2D2 just struggling to get out, but they do manage to do so. All while that there's a 1v1 of the Abba clone and Avina Quaker in the backline. But it is going to be a pretty convincing fight over 7 rings, finding that actual Anubrak very easily. And now we can see objective is up in 5 seconds, and that is going to be 3 out of 3 for the 7 rings.
And look at all those mines.
It's so annoying. It's just-
Anybody that goes to their camp.
Oh my gosh. I'll leave the bottom one. Top one you can get to pretty easily.
I'm wondering though, with this clone, if he should probably clone Greymane. It's kind of a hard choice. Maybe even Malthael.
I think it depends on the situation, but I think Malthael will actually be a very good pick. Also with his shield coming out. Durance of Hate doesn't quite find anything there, and we can see that there's going to be the abundance coming out and healing everyone up pretty effectively. Oh, nice ground shock, whatever it's called, by the Hogger, and we can see now that it's final stand once again stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they do go down. They do get 1 Q off, but that is a little bit too late for them to survive.
I do love seeing the Alex W with him going sweet. That is that's pretty gross. I had an opportunity to do that fairly recently, and yeah, that was pretty insane.
It's pretty scary to see the whole team rush at you all of a sudden. You're like, wait a minute, I don't like this anymore.
Yes.
But yeah, that curse is over now, but this whole building is already halfway done. And what was already done top by the team of Big Push Power early on is kind of nullified by that 1 curse of a few deaths that kind of came pouring through. Also, Anubrak clone now dead. We see it, final stand still up. C2D2 is in trouble, healing for what they can, realizing that it may be all she wrote for them. Just pushing at Q, praying. Here, last rites go out, but Avina Quaker is already back at full, so the last rites effectively did nothing at all.
All he needs is a globe, and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna hit some of the. Oh, they're gonna run into these mines.
I think they're finding out where all the mines are. Just seeing the Alex circle directly on top of a mine is kind of funny. Just knowing they're effectively about to walk straight into it and just get hurt.
Well, they don't. All these mines are cleared up for the most part down here, so they're free to do that.
They're learning. They're more and more going, I don't want to deal with this anymore. The mines are doing excellent to be an absolute pest for the enemy team. For the team of the 7 rings.
They're just getting slowed and armor reduction.
And now we can see the cheese is coming out bottom with those beetles. They're not going to be able to stay as long as the thing. As we do see that is going to be starting to rotate down. Malthael has an eye on things, but no, they are wanting to break out before anything too bad happens. But they could return to it. They should be able to see what is happening mid. They should have seen Crown in the camp. But no, it looks like they just want to defend and play it safe. Oh, Cyrus, maybe in trouble, my friend. Unurek diving on really early. There comes the cocoon.
Oh yeah, poor.
And Misha's just left alone all while that cocoon is out. Yep, Misha goes down first. Cyrus is next on the shot block. There's last rights. And that is Cyrus dead. There is no... Oh, I guess I could have quickly picked it, but there was no invuln available for them. Play dead, not picked up just of yet.
I was just gonna say he's dead, but didn't play dead. Oh no, he missed the Durance.
Yeah, that Durance just isn't quite hitting it this time. Shockwave used by Avina Quaker, and that does a decent amount as well. However, Crown is now starting to end up in an awkward spot. Flyest Raven, very much of a backline, going to try to get kept up by Southern. And Flyest Raven getting pinged, but they will barely hold on. Yes, they do. And that is actually going to be Mephisto going down first. Everyone else very low. Alpha Rack seeing if they can distract while this is happening. As the team of Big Push Power decide to do their boss. Grandman, you going to help your team?
Abathur is just going to be like, I'm going to take the objective and go right back to what I was doing.
Back to being a nuisance for Abathur. And this objective has taken so long to... Boss, I should say, taken so long to do. But now we can see everyone's coming back out here and the leash board's been used. If this boss has been leashed... No, it hasn't. Mechanic just slapping it once. Yes, it has. Oh, Flyest Raven. That's not necessarily what we're going to be. Blessed Shield used, and that's going to be the Greymane dead.
Oh, they can get them Mothale if... Oh, no.
No.
No,
Marthail's good. He's like, I'm good, actually. I don't want to be here.
And Mephisto is going to join them very, very soon. Oh, oh my god.
Oh my gosh, final stand. Don't risk your life like this, final stand. You don't need to take your final stand here.
Did you see the Mephisto walk over like...
No, I didn't. Oh my gosh, I see them now. I did not see that happen in the first place. Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my god.
You are having a far better eye on these minds than I am.
Well, it's just so fun to watch.
Right, I know where Pink's priorities are now, just going, oh, mine. But no, we do see there is going to be a fight breaking out. It is going to be the, Misha going down first. Very unfortunate for him. Nice double shockwave hit, and that is a huge combo with that Durance. That is Brightwing and the Malfail going down first. You can see Vena is going to be Greymane and Nubrak to follow. Boss is on core. Alpha Rat Clone is the only one left, and that may be all she wrote for this game. The core is dropping. The boss is still healthy. GG called by Avina, and it looks like the team realizes that that will be it. And that is a very well played best of 5 by the 7 rings. GG. Both sides.
Very well done.
Yeah, geez, it was a hell of a game. Definitely both teams taking it all the way. And there's a lot of instances in both maps, in actually every single map, maybe not first two, but 3, 4, and 5, where it could have gone either way. And I could have expected it to go either way. You could have told me that, if you told me that either team would have won that last one, I would have believed you. All the way up until the end. But
yeah, it was interesting. That last match, it was looking kind of like dirty in the lanes for red team. They were getting some push value and everything else, but the team fight though on these objectives is 7 rings had it on top.
But yeah, to quickly talk about stats really quick, 114k hero damage, 114k siege and 34k hero damage for Mephisto, doing a lot of work there. Malfa had 90k siege, and Abathur had most hero damage in the game on 47k itself. But those Abba mines were definitely very good at being the nuisance they were meant to be, actually racking up a decent amount of damage. In terms of stock, we do see it's 10k on Mephisto, 14k on Abathur, so Abathur did pick it up. And healing, Alex Strasser 77k compared to 53k of Brightwing. But Alex Strasser did have some very beefy boys to heal with that W build. And speaking of builds and talents, is there anything that stands out to you, Pink?
As far as what I see is Ghastly armor. It's very interesting to see 2 different types of Mephistos here. And the 16 lightning reaction with W build rather than going. I guess they didn't need to take percent this game, so that's a different pair up, but he does get a good blow up with that combo. And I love seeing the sprite with the Alex Strauss the Globe W. So that's just nasty. But again, like it's interesting, like the 7 not taking the frost, but I guess the armor was very impactful for this Mephisto for this game.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out as Mephisto did get to live through quite a bit. They don't quite have a beefiness of the rest of their team, but it did go well. And as you were pointing out, you very much enjoyed watching that mind build from the Abathur, just slowing people down everywhere, just being a general nuisance, which, hell yeah, if that is the case. Other than that, yeah, I do like what both teams were cooking. Interesting to see Abathur did go volatile mutation. Not often you do see it, but it did seem to do a little bit extra in those team fights. So unfortunately, they didn't end up with the advantage that they wanted, and it was the 7 Rings taking this series. And I'm going to see if anyone's willing to have a chat with us about how that series went.
Do you think maybe Hat Build was the call here instead of doing the mines? Though the mines got a lot of hero damage. Do you think maybe they needed just that a little bit more for like the Grey Mane or the Malthael?
I think it could have been very good. I think the Grey Mane auto attack speed increase could have been very good for them. However, it's not. It wouldn't be. It's hard to say because they have such a beefy frontline, and Joanna has double blinds that Grey Mane isn't necessarily amazing because of that Joanna the Joanna shield glare. It makes it a lot harder.
That's true.
So I did actually like the pickup of Mind Build. Maybe if we saw something like maybe along the lines of Split Abba pushing, that could have been interesting, but no, we didn't get to see that. This Abba still did very well, however.
Absolutely.
Game chat. So I'm just seeing if anyone's willing to have a post-game chat or a PST game chat, which is not quite what I meant.
They're like, no, it's bedtime.
PST, no. Pacific Standard, we are out.
We got a compliment in chat for being amazing casters tonight. Thank you for that.
That is Nightbot.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
It is a bot.
Is it a bot?
Yep.
No, that's rude. Why would they
that
do
was
that?
so unfortunate. I saw it happening and I just didn't say anything. But right, I'm going to lobby 2 and we'll see if we can get joined by members of the 7 Rings. I forgot to tell her to join me. Hopefully she joins me. Hey there, how you doing after that series? Root beer guy?
I'm here.
Welcome back. I can't seem to hear you.
Hello.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Oh.
How are you feeling at that end of actually quite a long best of 5 series?
Ecstatic. Game 1 didn't go as planned, and I'm glad that we just rallied back up. Is the main takeaway from these set of games.
Yeah, very good. You guys were able to rally back up because last time I was looking at the history of your 2 teams. Actually, last time you did lose against this team during regular season play, so you're happy that you're actually able to get the win this time around, even though you were the favored team.
Yeah, so they're actually a very good team. Their main draw is like, I guess it's like a positive is a double-edged sword is how many players they have. Because I think they have like a roster of 10. So to try and like squeak people in and out, like you saw, like they had several players that didn't play all 5 games. They had XC, Sovereign, C2D2 didn't play, Alpharak didn't play all their games. So to switch your roster in and out like that's got to be hard.
But for one consistent,
and it provides a challenge.
I
apologize.
No worries. For one consistent I did see was you guys banning out the Zeratul, but I imagine that would have been then Flyest Raven as the Zeratul player. And is it just such a hassle? Because I can see looking at it, they have basically had Zeratul banned against them the whole time.
So it's mainly for Cyrus, because Cyrus probably the whole time begged to just not play against his Zeratul offlane. It's a pain in the ass. I'd say he's probably like the best Zeratul in NA right now. So it's just better to just not have it against us. Same thing with like when they were banning Mephisto and Li Ming against Ivy. It's just better just not to play against people's like one tricks. I shouldn't say one tricks, they're mains.
No, yeah, that's reasonable. And I will kind of break down the maps. We'll go back. Tomb of the Spider Queen. You guys said that didn't go quite in your favor. What do you think happened that map? Because there was that kind of big 5-man wipe that lost you all your gems, but it didn't quite click for you today.
I think we just started off on our left foot, just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. We didn't do any sort of warm up, or our scrim got canceled at the last second. So it was one of those where it's like everything went wrong. And that's why I'm glad game 2 and game 3 went a lot better. It gave us that morale boost that we really needed after game 1. Because it's too easy after you have a game like that, when you're seeded number 1 and you expect to do well, to just start playing the blame game. And that's not going to help you win game 2 and 3.
No, correct. And Pink, you're more welcome to jump in if you have any other questions as well. But do you have any questions about map number 1 in particular?
I think we just didn't communicate well. Is our biggest takeaway from that game too.
Yeah. That would make a lot of sense. I am curious though how you felt about the Deathwing into the Leo matchup, because typically you don't want to see that as a Deathwing.
So yeah, Cyrus really hates playing against. There's like a couple he really hates, in Leo and like Samuro and Zero Tool are one of them. Just mainly because like I don't want to say it this way, but Cyrus's like hero pool is not diverse. So Deathwing's one of his mains, and it's really really good. So it's more like you work with the situation that you have. But it works out because of how good he is.
took the. Yeah, absolutely. I was really enjoying his Deathwing plays tonight. And I thought it was very smart move as a Deathwing player to not, as we were saying it in the game, is not to go like the melee build for the Deathwing, especially into that matchup. So I felt like he was very impactful because I saw him doing a lot of peeling, especially when people they were getting hooked, and he would just like fly in there, try to like fear them and take some damage off them, although it got him killed a few times or a couple times. But I think he did a very wonderful job of trying to peel as much as he could that game.
Yeah, if someone came into this game and you told them that Deathwing's one of the worst offlaners in the game, and they're watching Cyrus play it, they probably wouldn't believe you. But normally
I love
it's a pretty
Deathwing.
shit offlane.
That's an entirely fair comment. That Cyrus did really well each time that they brought him out. It was Deathwing's one of his heroes I do enjoy watching, because it's not often you do see them played to kind of in these higher levels. So when you do see them get cracked out, it's a real treat.
And that's another thing to think about. Like, you also have to take into effect, like, he's played against probably every single offlaner you can possibly imagine as Deathwing. So he knows what the matchups are, and he knows what everything is, because he plays that hero so much. It's easy to know what they're going to do, because he's played against them 100 times probably. With that one hero.
It's still tough sometimes, because you're like, God darn it, I don't want this matchup.
Hey, he picked it. That's his fault.
You know what? That's entirely fair. But you said maps number 2 and 3 very much helped your team's mental a lot. Do you just think that because in these maps you were getting those kills and things were finally clicking along, or did the clicking come through and then the kills came through? What do you think came first, the chicken or the egg in this instance?
I think after game 1, you think you have to like just have like a real chat with each other and be like, hey, this is what you guys need to do. This is what we're not doing well. The best part about like these in between each game is like it's like a halftime of a soccer match. Like you get to regroup, speak about what's going better, what you're going to do better, and then come out in the second half and do something different.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's just the way we took it, is you got to realize what happened wrong in game 1. We weren't talking, we weren't peeling, we weren't rotating. And we lost pretty much all of our gems for stupid fights. We stayed under towers way too long. The inting was pretty real. So you leave that all in game 1. It is what it is. Clean slate, the score is 0-0, and just go out there and win next game. And luckily game 2 and 3 went a little bit better in our favor. Game 4, another big of a hiccup.
Yeah, I have a question about game 4 in particular. Were you expecting them to not ban Mephisto and then take Mephisto?
So, in all seriousness, after they didn't ban it, we went, okay, they're going to first pick it. And we were thinking about picking Joe, obviously. And then we switched to a new brack, and we thought, we're good. We got a new brack from here on out. It don't matter. And then we just got Mephisto'd.
Mm.
I would
It
say both
happens.
teams got Mephisto,
Yeah.
even having the Anubrak on either side into it.
Yeah, and the crazy part is he's actually a hero that you can think of. He's pretty easily like played into, but when you play him at a high level, he's just so hard to get to. Even with Cocoon, your teammates know how to peel really well, and so he's just kind of a if you're winning, you're winning kind of game.
That makes a lot of sense. And you guys did have the Alex to help get you out of Cocoon at times, so that was very, very nice to have.
Alex, it's a combo we've been working on playing for a while, and it actually works pretty well. But you really got to protect me when we do it.
The spite though, oh my goodness, in the W build, oh my god, you were like living the dream, having all those cooldowns.
Oh, I play Alex, yeah, but yeah, it's funny because when we played in Storm League, he will literally run out of mana, but he'll have a full mana bar because he just doesn't regenerate it fast enough by the time he's using all of it. So W build Alex is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, very much so, and it worked out. Li Ming actually got through quite a few the first two maps, and she actually killed it. Crown? Do you call them Crown? What is their name? What do you guys call them?
His name is Ivy, but when you look at the name, it looks like a crown. So
okay.
It's either Ivy or Crown. It's the same thing. Sorry.
Was Li Ming expecting to never get to play them again after that second map? Because they absolutely killed it there. But even then, their Medivh game was also one. I do love watching aggressive Medivh play, and you guys did that excellently.
Yeah.
I think Ivy's probably the best Ming in NA right now. And the worst part about Ming is, again, a double-edged sword, is how good she is when she's aggressive. But if you waste all your CDs and you guys don't get a kill, she feels pretty bad. But luckily, he's pretty good at hitting things. And so when things die, they just die.
Start popping off with all those resets. Love to see it. Especially with that diamond skin.
Because I just got to make sure he doesn't die, and we just win the team fights.
Makes it real simple for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or hard, depending on how aggressive the Li Ming is.
The comms when he's freaking calamitying in behind their walls is bonkers. But he gets away with it.
Yeah, and I guess the only map we haven't really touched on yet is Dragonshire. The only other map you did lose this series. That was a very roundabout map. You guys are actually doing very well for a lot part. What do you think kind of happened there?
We drafted Genji to rotate quite a bit, and I think we did very well for the first 5 minutes. And then once we got our top 4, it's like we confused ourselves and we said, okay, our game plan's working. Now what do we do? And we just never kicked it into second gear. And we let them control the game. Just poor rotating is what I play it down to.
Yeah, because it did very much seem that way. You guys were like, cool, what's step 2?
Yeah,
just kind of
it seemed like after we took that first 4, it's just like we died. And then the second we came back, someone else dies. And we just kept staggering to the point where our like 2.5 level lead turned into we're 1 level behind. And I think that was our problem. We never got into second gear. And just replay of game 1. That Mephisto. And it's not even Dragonshire is not even that good of a map for him, I think. Same thing with Curse. It's not even that good of a map. At this point, we just took him in the hopes of getting Mephisto'd to carry us through games.
And it worked.
It's crazy. It worked. And Mephisto's a dumb character.
I'd have to say
I
on
think
that.
he could play anywhere. I was just gonna say, I think honestly, like that specific like hero can be played anywhere, which makes him, even though like maybe those are his weaker maps, it makes it dangerous.
I think what they did game 5 was actually very, very well done, picking a just go for the map kind of play, and not fighting us. I think the Abathur Greymane was actually pretty good. So props to them for their drafting. I think their drafting was better than ours. I just think they got Mephisto'd like we got Mephisto'd. unfortunately.
It just happens, yeah. But no, thank you so much for the game. It was excellent to watch both your teams clash, and good luck to the next round at least. But is there anything you kind of want to say now? The floor's open to you. Go ahead.
Thank you to my team. You guys were great. Tilt free, we love that. Thank you to Big Push Power. You guys are great. I love you, Eggsy. Beef Boys for life. That's it. Have a good night, guys.
No worries. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys do well in that next round. Take care.
Thank you too.
And Pink, I'll call you back. Right. So the end of that series, all in all, how did you find it?
I thought it was remarkable, and that's probably the best way to put it. Both teams fought really, really hard, and seeing those different comps, especially like we wanted to see a Mephisto. It was banned for like 3 maps, and then the last 2 maps we get to see our Mephisto pull out. So I think that both teams did absolutely a wonderful job, and good luck to the winning team for their next round, and don't be discouraged to the team that lost. You guys put up a really strong fight. That was just incredible to watch.
Oh no, I very much enjoyed it. It was absolutely a blast to see. And I just realized I wanted to raid a channel, but it looks like I may not be able to do so. But, Pink, where can people find you?
In the Nexus.
If you ever do start streaming, because I do know you intend on casting, where can people find you?
I do have I know, I was being a smarty. I am bound on Twitch at Pink Blackout. Eventually, I will be doing casting. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable. I think tonight made me feel even more comfortable. So we'll see what happens. I know playoffs are right now, so I might not have an opportunity for that. But definitely next season, you'll see me out there casting games.
Excellent. I'd love to see it when it happens. You better have me as a co-caster, considering I'm taking you under my wing. But no, apparently I can't raid anyone, so that's really annoying. I don't have permission to do that. But I am The Lime Bus. You can find me at, The Lime Bus on things such as Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Those are all where I'm found. But no, this has been an excellent series. Very tense, 3-2 in the end. We can see Big Push Power almost brought it back, but Seven Rings did close it out. And we don't know who they're facing yet next week. That map is yet to happen. That Heroic Division match will happen on Thursday for everyone. And that will be very good to watch. And I'll be very interested to see what will be happening for it. But that'll be it for us. I have been your host, Feline Bus. And once again, thank you so much for joining me, Pink.
Absolutely, anytime.
Right, so to everyone who's watching, wish you good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world, because time zones, they're very weird. But I'll see you in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.